If Indiana can do it, why can't Josh Heupel do it? Why can't the Vols do it? Because the truth is, they can do it. I mean, Indiana's shown me that. If they can do it, anybody can do it. And see, the thing about Alabama right now is that two key Bama players the Vols are involved with now, this Rusal guy, this linebacker, and then James Smith, a defensive lineman. 'Tis the season, man. Those avenues weren't open several years ago. The ability to go and take people off other people's rosters didn't exist several years ago. Well, Indiana will never happen for them again because, they got all these three-star players and blah, blah. I'm like, okay. If that's the way you want to look at it, the way I look at it is, if they can do it, why not us? I mean, seriously, what other way is there to look at that? What other way would it be to look at that? You know? And imagine with the way Tennessee's had a nice comeback here, if they would have been on the front foot in the portal, because they weren't. I mean, we talk about it today in the blog. They weren't. But just imagine if they would have been on the front foot. And Thrody wrote about this today because Tennessee's telling people, well, we're still on probation and, we can't do what we got to do and we got to stay within the lines and we're not going to be contacting people early and, and all that stuff. And it kind of hamstrings you a little bit. Hopefully at some point they pull the gloves off and go for it. But here we are with you on a Monday, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Look, you play quarterback for show, but you play defense for dough, and Tennessee's really added to their defense. So I look at what they've done here and this little haul they've gotten from Penn State. First of all, the hire of Jim Knowles' credibility. It's brought credibility to them on defense. It's brought and it's reaped benefits out of the portal. There's no question about that. They've been able to land 4 of their guys out of the portal, all up the middle. And then a great rusher. A great guy who's just got boundless raw ability. But Beanstar the Great, let's talk about our portal haul as Brian Hartman and myself are licking our wounds. The NFL playoffs, the basketball team, do we need to recast our expectations on these guys? Where you want to start, Bino?
Let's start in the portal, Tony. And good morning to you and Brian. Just a much brighter outlook than we had when we last spoke. Just a flurry of activity here. The Jim Knowles hire obviously opened that door, and I'm glad to see that. The thought that no one would follow him anywhere was bogus.
Yep.
He's had assistant coaches come with him. He's had players come back to him who had other opportunities. So really pleased with the flurry. I know there's more work to do, but needed a kicker, got a kicker. Needed a return man, got a return man. Needed defensive players, got defensive players. I got an offensive lineman. So far, there's more work to be done, and but so far I'm really happy with the progress that we've made here recently. So hopefully that continues, and I know that That's just the first part of it, that the evaluation has to be right and the pieces have to come together and they have to be successful on the field. But I'm happy with the sense of urgency and the understanding of the needs and the effort to fill them. So far so good in the portal, with more work to be done. The basketball team, it's one that's not quite as good defensively as we're accustomed to with Barnes teams, and we're still Ament's still a work in progress. He was the lone bright spot at Florida. More disturbing to me is just their lack of care with the basketball. You just can't continue to turn it over time and time and time again when you're somewhat challenged offensively. You just can't give away possessions. And until that gets fixed, the rest of the stuff doesn't matter a whole lot. I think this is a good basketball team, but I don't think at this point, and I'm not sure we're going to see them be as good as the last two Tennessee basketball teams were. This team at this point looks to me more like the Keon Springer teams than the teams that we've seen of late.
And you know what, Bino? That's what they track like. When you look at their assist-to-turnover ratio, and Matt Dixon, we'll have some stuff in the blog tomorrow. He's done some research. It's just kind of crazy, but they're like on a 30-year bender here. We haven't seen a team this deficient in terms of the flurry of turnovers and the goofy things they do. Hard to win road games when you're that loose with the ball, which is something we said Friday, which is why you and I both thought they would lose, and why I think it's going to be a long weekend, long year rather, doing these post-game shows. But hey, we do them because we're dutiful, and we're here for the fans, and we're here together, and we're here for each other. But God, it's hard to watch. Hard to watch.
I think this team will be, as I said Friday, I think they'll be hard to beat at home. I think they'll be really challenged on the road.
Yeah.
They need somehow to win 7 of 9 games at home. No worse than 2 losses at home, because I just think wins are going to be extremely hard to come by on the road for this team.
Yep. But we got a lot to talk about. So we got that. Brian Hartman, welcome in. You and I are going to commiserate today and lick our bumps together. If I were a Jags fan, I'd be a lot more proud of the Jags than I would the Eagles. The Eagles played a team that had a guy holding out, that had 4 key injuries, and then lost George Kittle in the first half to a horrendous. You hate seeing a star player get hurt like that. He's already been beat up all year. But then yesterday he has the Achilles heel, and lo and behold, what do you know? The Eagles can't score in the second half because they haven't been able to all year. Your guys, Bri, had a championship drive from Lawrence, but had a quarterback that's been in a lot of battles. He's got the scars to prove it. And, boy, I'll tell you one thing. Josh Allen was one force to be reckoned with yesterday, Bri.
Are the crisis hotlines open for the Eagles and Jags, Tone?
Not really. Your crisis hotline isn't open. And the Eagles have a good, solid core, and there's nobody in their division. You know why? Because the Cowboys are in the division, and the Giants are in the division, and the Washington, whatever they call themselves, are in the division. So we'll be right back in the playoffs next year. Hate to tell you, to all the haters out there.
Well, I thought the Bills coaching staff confused Trevor Lawrence. And you saw experience. Liam Cohen did an excellent job, 13-4.
Yep.
The future's bright. But the Bills coaching staff, McDermott's been there and done it longer.
Sure.
And Trevor he had one playoff season a couple years ago, but he's still relatively inexperienced in that department. So hopefully he'll get a lot more experienced as we go along. He really could have thrown probably 4 or 5 picks because they got their hands on a lot of his passes. And
no doubt.
And what really I don't like is your defense was good at forcing turnovers all year long. They didn't get one. The special teams got one after you score to take the lead. You have a chance to go up 14-3. You've got to go up 14-3 when you're facing Josh Allen. You've got to.
Yep.
But when it's 4th down and 2 full yards,
Yep.
take points. Take points. If it's 4th and 2 inches, okay, 4th and 2 yards, please take the points and go up 10-3. And then that ended up being the difference in the game. Also, the Jags kicker, who had kicked 67 and 68-yard field goals,
missed a kick.
Misses a 54-yarder that he normally makes. And then Buffalo's kicker, who they said may have had injuries and was sort of banged up and had been kicking forever. He's ancient. He drills all his long field goals. And so right there, it's a 3-point game at the end. And that was the difference. Things that normally had been going well in the stretch for the Jags deserted them yesterday.
It's playoff football,
but all
man.
in all, I really enjoyed the season. I'm encouraged.
Great year
and
for you.
I can live with this result. And it's disappointing. It sucks, but I'm not like really upset the way some fan bases are right now, especially the Green Bay Packers.
Great year for you. And I think that the two best teams in the AFC met on that field yesterday. I think Jacksonville and Buffalo are the two best teams in the deal. And I think Buffalo is going to come out of it now. Buffalo deserves to go to a Super Bowl, and they're going to have a tough road to do it. They're going to have to do it on the road, but I believe they have the team to do it.
This is their first road playoff win since 1992. The Jags didn't even exist the last time Buffalo won a road playoff game. So, of course, that's who they were going to beat.
The news is breaking today. There's going to be a couple pieces of news today break on Tennessee's quarterbacks. First of all, there's a lot of chatter out there that Joey's going to get denied today, which would be in keeping with some of the other things that have gone on in terms of the denials. And I think Bino's right. I think they're trying to put some sort of, I don't know if the term's cap, but there's a movement toward, hey, let's kind of shuffle these guys off the stage. Whether that's right or not. Pavia's not going to get his. The other one that was denied late last week, and now you're going to see. That's the chatter. Okay, we'll see if it happens. At the same time, Sam Levitt looks like he just committed to LSU. I mean, who knows? Does he end up visiting Miami or visiting Oregon? Who knows? But the story goes that Lane Kiffin told him and his brother, see you later. And then he came to Knoxville and chased him down Friday night. Or was it Thursday night? Whatever it was, he was tweeting the photos from the airport and doing his bits and doing the Lane Kiffin thing. And, hey, look, if you want to overpay for a guy who's damaged goods, go for it. And if the guy's healthy, he'll come in here and he'll have a pretty good day in Neyland Stadium. There's no question the guy can play. Because Kiffin got that one receiver from Hawaii. They have some other pretty good receivers around him. And we know Lane Kiffin's going to be good at portal ball. If he was good at portal ball at LSU or at Ole Miss, imagine what he's going to do at LSU. So, whatever. I personally, and maybe I will rue the day I say this on the air, because maybe Levitt wins a Heisman Trophy next year. I'm glad the Vols didn't play around with Sam Levitt. First of all, I don't want a guy that's that freewheeling. I don't want a guy that's that beat up. I don't want a guy that you're going to have to overpay for. Well, what's the point in any of that? Take your money, spend it on your defense, and get a pretty good quarterback. Not a bad formula. It's how we got to the playoffs 2 years ago. We didn't spend our money on our defense then, but we just had a pretty good defense. We had veteran defense that sort of ripened on the vine, and it came to be for the Vols. People around this thing don't think Aguilar is going to win his appeal. So Tennessee's going to have to go find now a quarterback. Here's my issue with them on the quarterback thing. Where's the plan? Okay, so you weren't going to spend big, but you had to have some other guys on the hook. You had to walk somebody in to, you had to walk somebody into the deal. Now, Negadave's being negatory on the Penn State transfers. He says only Amari Campbell was a starter out of those Penn State transfers. Hey, Dave, stop. Stop, man. Stop. Don't move the cheese, Dave. Now, the Chaz Coleman guy's got to be more than just a situational player for Tennessee, and they think he can be. Penn State used him sort of as a situational pass rusher as a freshman, with the thought that he can develop into an All-American football player. That was their expectation for him, and eventually a pro, a high-level professional player. They've seen him there. People I talk to say, hey, he's got the high end. I don't know if he has what the kid that ended up blossoming with the Cowboys has, but they think he's in that sort of ilk, that he's a very, very, very good player. The kind that we've seen on past Alabama teams when they've been very, very good, Georgia teams as they've been very, very good. Dave, don't be a cheese mover. You piss me off, man. Don't do that to me. And the kid they got out of the secondary was a signal caller for him, so he knows the defense. And so my point about the football team is they've really improved themselves in the middle of the field on defense. They've really improved themselves. They got a kid at defensive tackle, to Dave's point, who didn't play a lot. That's true. But again, has high upside and has a couple years left. They got a guy at middle linebacker who started for Penn State who can play. They got a safety who's going to be able to call their signals and adjust. At least that's what we think is going to happen. And so these guys are pretty good. This is like Bino said, they've upgraded their defense. Now, can you get one of the two guys from Alabama? Can you get a few more guys? Tennessee's issue is, and my issue with Tennessee is, they behave themselves. And they're telling people that behind the scenes. We're on probation. We couldn't tamper like the other schools do. It's what they're telling people. Orange Throat wrote it today in the blog. If you pulled Brent Hubbs or Austin Price aside and said, is that true? They would say, yeah. If you ask them that on the board, they're not going to say yes. But if you pull those guys aside, they tell you yes. If you pulled Adam Sparks aside and said, hey, those guys wrote that, is that true? He's not going to say it publicly, but they'd say, yeah, that's right. Tennessee's still on their best behavior because they think they're still on. They still think they're on probation. And my argument that would be probation from what? Are you afraid of the NCAA? I mean, let's think about what we're doing right now in the NIL space. Texas Tech is buying everybody. Bino, what kind of market do you think Texas Tech has down there? Like Knoxville is a top 100 media market, something like that, whatever it is. I don't know. I used to know those things. I don't worry about that now because we're doing global stuff here. But what would you say, Beanstar, how small of a market must that be down there in Lubbock compared to Knoxville? Because here's what they're going to tell that clearinghouse. Well, these kids are going to have deals. Deals for what? You literally have like 5,000 people living around the campus. What kind of deals? I'm happy with what the Vols have done, Beanstar. Yes or no?
Is that a question to me?
Yeah, I'm happy for it. I'm happy with what they did on.
Me too. Yeah, I'm happy with what they've done, Tony. And I we had Ken Miller on last week, and
yep.
Ken follows that Penn State program as closely as anyone.
Yep.
And he gave his stamp of approval on all of these defensive players from there.
Yep.
And so I'm gonna take that and run with it because I know how closely he follows that program. Tony, as far as Tennessee, I think Tennessee actually had a plan at quarterback. I don't think it's panned out. I think they started out like you said with Sorsby and with Levitt. Sorsby was quickly kind of off the board to Texas Tech. They got Levitt on campus, and they also went down and did everything that they could with Simpson. So I think they have had a plan. I just don't think that to this point it's proved to be it's worked.
Somebody, I want to think this is Miami in light of what LSU just did with Levitt. There's a report out there. I'm going to read this to you. You guys tell me what you think, because this is pretty remarkable. This is from, and again, you hear this stuff, but a guy named Nick Kelly, who is an Alabama football, baseball beat writer, AL.com guy. He's a Heisman voter. Proverbs 16:13 in his in his bio over here on X Twitter. Looks like a nice kid. He has 17,000 followers. He says the following. Alabama quarterback Ty Simpson declared for the NFL draft, but other college programs are still trying to get him to enter the transfer portal. One offered a deal that could total $6.5 million for one season. Now, that one team is not, I don't think, the Vols. I don't think they're going to spend like that.
Nor should they.
No. But the Miami Hurricane, they have that money. They've proven it to us. They flexed on us with a few players before, including that Polynesian offensive lineman we thought we had several years ago. His name escapes me, but he's very good for them. And then they came and stole our safety off our football team last year. So they've been rewarded in behaving this way. And if you'll remember, last year they paid $4 million for Carson Beck, and we were all laughing, myself included. And nobody's laughing now. Carson Beck's played really well in the playoffs. Now, I don't trust Carson Beck. I don't trust him against Indiana. But, hey, they've gotten to the national championship game. They've gone through a gauntlet here. Much respect to them. Isn't that interesting, Bino, that somebody out there is still trying to pull him back into the boat?
Yeah,
which I guess you can do.
Is.
I guess you can do.
It is, yeah. It's just the difference in the NIL world. Used to, if a quarterback declared for the NFL, there was no way to keep him. Now you can almost pay more than they can as a rookie quarterback.
I was hoping against hope. That Heupel and those guys would identify a couple lower level guys and just go get them. Before I spent any amount of money on the kid from Arizona State, I would go get two lower level guys, take the two guys I have, and let's go play football. I'm being serious over here.
And maybe that's where the search ends, Tony. Maybe that is where the search ends.
Yeah, I don't know if that's not where it should have begun, though. I'd have loved to have seen them get the Old Dominion kid, Bino. The Old Dominion kid would have fit this offense perfectly. But he's going to go – all this runs together. It looked like he was going to go Virginia Tech, and then the Grunkenmeyer guy became available. Virginia Tech passed on him. He went on over to – where is he? Like a Wisconsin? Something like that. Is that right, Bri? Wisconsin?
Yes, he's going to Wisconsin.
Yeah, I'm trying to do all this in my head, which people listen to me. A mind's a terrible thing to waste. A mind's a sieve. But that is an interesting little nugget there from AL.com regarding Ty Simpson. Who would pay him $6.5 million? It's either Oregon or it's Miami. Oregon or Miami. Now, Bino, I said on the air last week and have been saying, and people came after me for saying it, but I'm going to say it again. I don't get this kid from Oregon as a top-flight NFL quarterback. Will anybody join me in this? I know he had a terrible game the other day, and I'm piling on a guy who had a terrible game. Did you see anything out of him Friday night, Bino, that made you think, man, I'm going to spend the first pick on the draft in this guy, or I'm going to draft him in the top 5? Did you see anything out of him, Bino, that would lead you to do that as an NFL franchise?
No, not the other night for sure, Tony. I haven't watched Oregon a whole lot, but certainly not the other night I didn't. But I'll tell you the truth. I've given up. I've given up on trying to determine who's going to be coming out of college, who's going to be a quality NFL quarterback. I certainly didn't think the May kid was going to be, and he looks really solid. I didn't think Bo Nix was going to be, and he looks really solid. I'm wrong more than I'm right, so I don't even know how to look at him anymore.
So, this whole thing is going to get lots of twists and turns. Believe it or not, we're 10 days into Portal Mania, and we've got another, 10 to go? Another week and a
We've
half or
got
so
like
to go?
5 more days to go, I think, right?
Is that
Isn't it
right?
the 2nd to the 16th?
No, 21st, isn't it, Brian? Let me look at the window.
I thought it was 2nd to the 16th.
Hang
It's the
on.
16th, but isn't there an extra period
Yeah, for the playoff teams.
still in the playoffs?
That's
But now,
right.
that doesn't
Okay.
have anything to do with signing people, right? That's just
Guys
people
getting
going
in. That's exactly right. You can pull guys out as long as you want. Up to 2 weeks before your after your session runs. Tennessee session runs longer. So it might be some 10s at 2s and some 2s at 10s, and that Dante Moore guy, I mean, more power to you. Pardon the pun. If you're going to take him as an NFL franchise, we have a lot to talk about. The basketball team, boy, they're rough. That's a rough watch. Now, I will say this for the basketball team. In all fairness, I was talking to C the other night, and he was like, when you take care of the ball like that, you're not going to beat anybody. However, they did play off the jump in the 2 hardest places to play in the league. There is very little doubt about that. They did play in the 2 toughest places to play off the jump. My hope is for the upcoming season that Josh Heupel can get Josh Heupel lucky here. Let's have a quarterback fall into our lap who can play. Bino, I'm telling you right now, if it's this Probiola guy, I believe in Josh Heupel luck at quarterback, but that would really be pushing it if that guy ends up at our quarterback. Do you feel me?
I feel you, Tony. If he comes in there, he's not winning the job. We'll be playing G-Mac, or we'll be playing Faison.
Yeah.
He's winning the job.
Yeah. Because the expectation was
that's a waste of money.
If they would have brought a frontline guy in, the expectation was going to be that G-Mac was going to jump into the portal. And I was kind of poking around on what G-Mac's market would be in the portal, and I don't think it'd be great. Just to speak it honestly here. I was poking around on that because you got to poke. You're doing what we're doing. You got to go, okay, well, if this guy and this thing happens, and then he goes, how big's his market? And I was told, kind of tepid. So, but they've got to go find somebody that can throw the long ball and run around a little bit. And there are guys out there in lower division football, G5 football, 1AA ball that could throw it around and run around. Throw the ball a little bit and run around. And again, some of you think Joey Aguilar is a great quarterback. I think he's okay. I think what Joey Aguilar shows you is that this is a pretty damn good offensive system if you've got good receivers in it. And the Brazil guy was damn good last year. Now, who's going to join the party to replace him? Because he was pretty damn good last year. He made a liar out of me. So, 865-200-5402. This Probiola guy, or Probiola, let me think here. I'll practice party discipline with the best of them. I'll sell for you in the off season. I'll tell everybody it's going to be great. I'll predict 10-2 by the time we get to May, June, July. Get you through it. We're going to make the playoff. If you're going to throw that Bo Priola guy out there who couldn't play in a very good quarterback-friendly offense with a pretty good receiving core against how do you put this, Beanstar? Against a pretty moderate schedule in the league. Look at our schedule next year, and you throw that Probiola guy on the field.
If he gets to face UMass 9 times and maybe Kansas the other 3, he might be pretty good.
Please don't do that. Yeah, you're right, Brian. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. 865-200-5402. Lamb Weirdos Steelers have a few more hours to live this season because they are going to, Bino, get destroyed tonight. Yes or no? Lamweirdo Steelers.
No, I don't think they're going to get destroyed tonight, Tony.
Shout out to Jawan Jennings. His press conference when he screamed into that microphone after throwing that touchdown was pretty all-time. I shouted him out at the bottom of the blog today. He is just, he would be a perfect Pittsburgh Steeler with his mentality. And that town, they would love that guy there. And this A.J. Brown guy who runs his mouth, and you Titan fans warned me, I give you credit. I give Goldbrick Joe credit. I give Titans Bill credit. I give a lot of people credit here. And several people around town that, hey, I hear you crowing that you guys got A.J. Brown. You wait. Hey, you guys were right. A.J. Brown is a punk and a clown. And when Nick Sirianni went after him yesterday on the sidelines, Bino, what'd you think of that? I love that, Bino. What'd you think of it?
Yeah, I was wondering if did he just get on him for dropping the ball?
Yes. He said, catch the damn ball is what he screamed at him.
Yeah. Always open.
What book do you think he was reading on the sideline this year or sitting on the bench?
865-200-5402. More on the other side after this.
When it's time for your next move, you want to get your precious belongings from point A to point B with your peace of mind intact. That's why you need to call my friends at Gufon Moving and Storage, East Tennessee's moving legend. Gufon Moving and Storage has been helping East Tennesseans move since 1887. That's 138 years. 5 generations. That's even longer than the Dooley, Jones, and Pruitt era combined. Gufon Moving and Storage, pro movers, serving Knoxville, surrounding areas, and interstate moves too, both residential and commercial. And we'll provide you with personalized service that other corporate movers simply cannot. We know how to move all types of items. We pay careful attention to our clients' valuables. Your satisfaction as a customer is our absolute priority. As the oldest continually owned and operated family moving business in the United States, when it's time for your next move, it's Gufon Moving and Storage. And storage, it's secure and vaulted. Our newest offering of commercial storage logistics, we offer receiving, storage, and delivery services for all your business logistic needs. See more at Gufon.com. That's Gufon.com, or check out the link at tclub.team. When it's time for your next move, East Tennessee's moving legend, Gufon Moving and Storage.
Life never stops moving. And between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to Grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up. A tire designed for doers. A tire that's going to last. Like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
Inward Half is committed to the game and the memorable moments that happen in between. From the tee box to the tailgate, from the green to the big game. For the first birdie with Dad, the first big win with Mom. Friday night lights, Saturday superstitions, Sunday traditions. Fall into the comfort and unparalleled performance of Inward Half. This fall, enjoy the walk-in.
Are you tired of hiding your smile because of crooked teeth? At Knoxville Smiles, we've got the perfect solution. Invisalign. No metal, no wires, just clear, comfortable aligners that straighten your teeth without anyone noticing. Eat what you want, smile with confidence, and see results in as little as 6 months. Call us today for more information about Invisalign, 865-539-1776, or just visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Start the new year with comfort and savings from Pipe Wrench Home Services. Tired of high energy bills and constant heating and AC repairs? Ready for a more efficient home? There's never been a better time to upgrade your comfort and take control of your energy costs. Upgrade your HVAC system now with Pipe Wrench Home Services and make no payments until 2027. A new energy-efficient system means lower bills, fewer breakdowns, and peace of mind for years to come. And with Pipe Wrench Home Services same-day service guarantee, you won't wait to start enjoying a more comfortable home. Your comfort isn't just our job, it's our promise. Upgrade your HVAC system now with Pipe Wrench Home Services and make no payments until 2027. Schedule your free estimate today at pipewrench.com. Pipe Wrench Home Services, trusted in Knoxville, Maryville, Oak Ridge, and neighboring communities for over 20 years. Same-day service guaranteed, or the visit is free. Offer good with approved credit. Some restrictions apply. Visit pipewrench.com for details.
TB here with Alan of WeShipFloors.com. Tell them about it, Alan.
Hey, I'm Alan from WeShipFloors.com. Our competition's prices, well, they're going up. Ours are coming down. Our waterproof floor Supercore, it's the best, and right now it starts at $199 a square foot. Our warehouses are full of 4mm, 6mm, and 8mm. You strapped for cash? Well, we have our own in-house financing. Use our room visualizer and order some free samples today. Supercore from WeShipFloors.com. Best products at best price.
Like Alan said, head over to WeShipFloors.com. Use the room visualizer on the website. Drop in any of the 120 Supercore floors virtually into your room and order your free samples today. WeShipFloors.com. Tennesseans, they are us. The best product, the best price. WeShipFloors.com. Living Vol fan, when it's time to get ready for 2026 and what's ahead, there's only one place. It's Alumni Hall. The best and largest selection of Tennessee apparel for the whole family. Top brands, Nike, Champion, Columbia, Peter Millar. And check this out. All the basketball stuff that the Tennessee basketball fan could ever need. Some great Tennessee baseball stuff as well. Any season, any reason. Alumni Hall, 3 locations in Knoxville. Also Murfreesboro, Bristol, and now open, of course, in Johnson City. And anytime online, alumnihall.com. Say it loud, say it proud. The ultimate volunteer shopping experience. Alumni Hall.
It's always magnificent. Mondays on the Basilio Show, presented by our friends at Fleet Tire. I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. And now, back to B.
So I'm trying to poke around and find out exactly what kind of an impact these Penn State players are going to have. And I just reached out to Ken Miller, who was on here last week, and I want to get a couple of Penn State sources on this week, guys that, follow the program, guys and gals that follow the program, simply because I want to bring that to you. I want to bring that perspective to you. And Miller, in passing, and people that are listening to us on either Twitter Spaces or watching the video can hear our conversations. I just do what I do in here. And Miller says, as a matter of fact, I said, Miller, this safety, I said, I got some people in here poo-pooing him. He said, why? He said, Penn State didn't want to lose that kid. He said he started 3 games for him last year as the adjuster, but he was on the field at the end of all the games. He was always on the field. He said they had a kind of a thing where he didn't start, but he played most of the snaps. And Dave's in here going, well, he wasn't a starter. Okay, from 10,000 feet, that's a good viewpoint Dave has. Dave went and looked up whether he started or not. Miller says he's always on the field. Now, Bino, whose side are you going to take? Miller's or Dave?
When we're talking about Penn State football, I'm going with Ken. And as you and I talked about off the air, Ken's not going to sugarcoat this thing for the Tennessee fan base because he could care less.
That's exactly right.
From a Tennessee football perspective.
In fact,
he cares about Penn State, knows about Penn State, follows Penn State, knows what he wants to keep and what he wants to lose.
Exactly. He wants to have bragging rights with his friends, and he said, Tony, the Vols are in the midst of having a pretty good defense next year. He said, no, they're not going to be great, He said, but they got the makings of a pretty good defense, and I agree with that.
Hey, we go from what we had to pretty good. That's a quantum leap.
So we'll get some people on before we go. That's exactly right. And look, you know, I'm a guy that's not afraid to call a ball on a strike, and I do think Tennessee's been somewhat hamstrung by Danny White with their approach in the portal. And then his lieutenants literally are telling people, hey, we're still on probation, as they're complaining to them. That's what I'm getting back. And so what Throat wrote today is accurate. And that's why Tennessee's had a little slow start in the portal, and they didn't walk guys in like a lot of programs did. They're being extra careful, and but they're, you know, hey, this Jim Knowles hires allowed them to cover some ground here and scavenger up some guys from Penn State, and the 4 they've gotten are pretty damn good. That middle linebacker's a nice player. He just told me about Xavier Gilliam. He said nobody wants to lose a defensive tackle that can play in major college football. I said, why are 2 other guys now in the portal? And he said, well, they're pretty good too. He said it must be either because they can't play them, or the new coaching staff thinks they don't fit their system. So we'll go to the phones. 865-200-5402. Levitt today to LSU. Lane Kiffin came up here after letting him go and jumped all over him and probably money whipped him. Probably money whipped him and his brother. Personally, I said it at the time, this is not sour grapes. I would not have done Sam Levitt. I said it before Sam Levitt. I said it during Sam Levitt. And I said it after Sam Levitt. I would not have done that. Even though there is one thing about him that I would have liked to have seen, and that's his cocky nature in a Tennessee uniform and the concept of having a guy at quarterback that everybody else would have hated. Because he'd have been hated in this league. And knowing him, Bino, when they come playing here, he's going to have a chip on his shoulder like the Vols didn't offer him enough, and it's going to set up a very interesting game when he comes here now. There's so much cross-pollination with these programs that each week you're going to play somebody that you have history with.
Yeah, that's
right.
That's what this is breeding.
Yeah,
even more so than what we've been accustomed to.
Yeah.
As far as Bo Perbula, or however you say his name goes, Tony.
Yep.
Listen, I said this about the NFL, and I'll say it about Josh Heupel. I don't want him. I don't think he's the right guy. But as long as Josh Heupel's been here, the guy that I thought was the right guy isn't, and the guy that I thought wasn't is. So I'll at least give him, if that's what happened, I'll at least give him the benefit of the doubt. But if it's him, I don't think he wins the job.
Timothy McGee said, Coach Major said it best about our fans when he said, Vol fans are the legion of the miserable. Timothy, to that I say, yes and no. Vol fans are extremely knowledgeable and absolutely love and care about their program. And maybe to a fault. Now, there are some that will gnaw on me and drive me nuts. I can't imagine what it's like to be a coach, Timothy. But I appreciate your super chat. But I will remind you, Timothy, it isn't like we're cutting nets down all the time here. And we're paying a lot of money for the right not to cut nets down. We haven't played in the SEC championship game since 1998 here, Timothy. And we fill our stadium every week. And we just saw Ole Miss get to a national semifinal. We're watching Indiana play for a national championship. We thought Miami was left for dead and nobody cared about their program anymore, and they're in the national championship game. So, Timothy, if folks are a little impatient, good for them. And I start out today's show, and I'm going to go to the phones because this is geophysical. You're the caller. Those of you that look at Indiana and say, well, they can't do that again next year, don't have that attitude. Sure they can. So can we. isn't that a fair way of looking at it, Bino? Instead of poo-pooing what Indiana's done, let's say to ourselves, hey, we can do that too. Don't you think that's a fair way of looking at it, Beanstar?
Yeah, that's the way I choose to look at it. That it gives us some hope. Now that again, that's the most amazing turnaround that I've ever seen in my life in college football. To take the team that has the most losses in history and in 2 years be playing for the national championship, that's just unbelievable. That's the right guy at the right time.
People are asking me, what you talk about Danny White and they're proceeding like they're still on probation. Why are they being so careful? He's being careful because he's got the ultimate buyout. He's got a 4-year rollover. He has by far in that industry, okay, the largest contract that's ever been written in terms of if he got fired. They would owe him all of it, as in all of it. As in, there are a couple ADs out there that make more money than him, like the guy at Texas, per year. But nobody has this guy's buyout. And he's not going to risk it. He's got this guy, they are doing it straight arrow at UT. And if you think the other programs in this league did that thing straight arrow, as they got the jump on us, and so we're playing catch up. But we got the money to play catch up. We got some money to play catch up. That's the good news. It isn't like we don't have any money. We got money. But we're playing catch up. Because Tennessee's telling people that. They're telling the people that call people like him or his lieutenants, and that's who I'm getting it from. I'm just telling you. From several people. And what they're being told is, hey, look, we're on probation from the Pruitt stuff, and, we can't, the other schools are cheating, and we can't do that, and we couldn't do that, and, I'm sitting there going, of course you can do that. Of course you can do that. Everybody's doing that. But, now we're playing catch up, and we're doing a pretty good job of playing catch up. I'll tell you what, the Penn State 4, you got me fired up, folks, prepared it. Now, those guys can all play. You look at last year's defense, and you say, where would those guys rank with last year's defense? I'm going to tell you something pretty favorably. People cried in Hemden Hall when Ross went out of here the other day. And the Herring kid's a nice player in certain defenses. In this guy's defense, the Herring kid was going to get run over. And the Big Ten team we played in that bowl game mauled him. No offense. And the other kid that left, he's going to go here, going to go play at a league school, and yeah. This guy wants different types of people on his ends. He wants heavier guys. He's got a different approach. Let's see if it works. Hello and welcome in. Let's get our next call in. You're on the air.
What's going on, Tone? Who's your ball run?
My gosh, man.
How about her, Hoss?
I was thinking about you Friday night, brother.
Hey, I'm not going to belabor the point. It speaks for itself. Let me ask Negative and everyone poo-pooing this, because, Tone, ball. I watch a lot of SEC ball and Big Ten ball.
Yep.
Who's the talk of college football right now? Indiana. Who came the closest to beating them this year? And listen, Mark and Columba, it ain't your beloved worshiping Buckeyes.
It's that Penn State defense that had them on the ropes.
Now, did they beat us in a shootout nearly where they scored 50 points, or did they play West Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, hard-nosed attitude football?
Yes, they did.
And smack us in the mouth for 4 quarters until Mendoza caped up and won the Heisman.
He's right about that, Bino. Now I got to go back and see
Everybody be happy today. What is wrong with y'all? The Big Ten's really good. We got one of the best defenses rated it.
Yep.
What are y'all talking about?
Yep.
Hey, Ryan, I got a question for you that I've been thinking about over the weekend. I got some Kentucky buddies that anytime their football team would get pretty good, it kind of pissed them off because they would rather
they're idiots.
the entire attention be on basketball. Are there Indiana fans that are that way?
No.
Okay.
Did you see Atlanta?
Have you seen the Ghetto?
Oh yeah, I'm talking about hardcore basketball first fans.
Hey Bino, Clarkie boy
I don't
told
know
Anthony.
anymore up there.
Clarkie and Anthony were playing cards on Saturday, and Clarkie boy told Anthony that it's a $3,500 get-in to the championship game, and the whole market is being driven by those Hoosier fans.
Indiana.
They're going to have 75% of Miami Stadium. Imagine if we got back and played a national championship game in our building. Imagine this now. And 75% of the fans was another fan base. That's how hungry Indiana is, Bino, to win at anything. They're like we were when Tony Vitello got that thing going, and I'm getting chills thinking about it. And we had about, in that Hoover Met Stadium, and Matt Dixon was down there. And Chris Burke was in there. We had like 10,000 people. We just bombed that place with people. That's what they're getting ready to do to the national championship game, Beanstar.
Yeah, I didn't mean to hijack your call, Ryan. And
I'm not hijacking anything. No, it's a great
I'm not talking
question.
about the fan base as a whole.
Yeah.
Most Kentucky fans, Kentucky's brought a bundle of people to watch football here for years and years, and they've sucked.
Yep.
But there were I knew a couple of hardcore Kentucky basketball fans that didn't want the football program to get one column in the cat's paws.
Yep.
That was too much for them.
Yep. You're right about that,
Isn't
Bino.
that why Bear Bryant left 100 years ago or whatever the heck it was?
Probably true.
Yeah.
He allegedly got a cigarette lighter for winning 10 or having the greatest year ever, and Rupp got a Cadillac. And he said, well, that's enough for me. Yeah.
Is that really the backstory, guys? I'd never heard that.
That's an urban legend, but I
Bryant
think
used
it's
to
true.
tell a story like that he got that he got like a cigarette lighter and a pen, and Rupp got a Cadillac.
Let's
and he
go.
And he said, that's enough for me, boys.
Let's go.
Well, here's the thing. To answer your question, Bino, you know when Indiana basketball died? When Mike Woodson got one more year and Dusty went to Ann Arbor. So if they're waiting on something, they can keep waiting, because we all-time lucked into something I've never seen before. And I'd echo Tony's sentiment. On one hand, you can look and be jealous at Indiana. And look, hey, I'm not sure we're going to win next week, but if we do, Mark and Columba listen, and Buckeyes live in it, we are the greatest Big Ten team of all time. I don't know if we're the greatest college football team. I think all three of those SEC teams recently could have beat this team, frankly. But Buckeyes live in it. If we get around Miami next week, we are the greatest Big Ten team of all time.
You're going to smash
and
them
into the ground. You can be
ground.
jealous of that.
No,
or you can say, what does he do that we can do in Knoxville? And it's a lot, because it ain't hard. It's just hard to do. With discipline, talent evaluation, land it. And we got Penn State's entire defense. I'm not scared of Texas next year. Let's win some games, guys. Everyone could be negative.
Hey, Hoosier Paul Ryan's right. We can sit there and say all day long, well, they're just going to go 2-year one. How about if we become the next Indiana? That's certainly on the table. Look what Miami did. Miami barely got into the playoffs, and when they take this thing to 16, which in another week and a half, we're going to find out that they're taking this thing to 16. And I'm not saying you're going to do it next year. I don't know if you can do it next year.
Right.
I don't know what the quarterback situation is next year. Talking about the fall.
It's
this
probably
fall.
27.
But in 2027, next year we could scratch a door if we had a few more defensive players. But the 2027 season certainly is one where Tennessee should think, hey, we can go deep in the tournament. Let's set ourselves up to do that.
Arch plays good 2 games, and I'm supposed to be scared of him.
That's exactly
coming
right.
To Neyland with Penn State's defense.
That's exactly
that would
right.
set the tone.
That's exactly right.
Hey guys. Hey, great show.
Congratulations to you, man. Are you going?
Hey, no, I can't afford that.
Should we do a GoFundMe for you? A GoFund?
No. It would be wasting on me. I will enjoy it from the home, and I hate to say this, and I can't believe I'm saying this. I don't think this is the first natty Indiana football is going to play for. I wish this was happening for the Vols.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Something truly unusual is happening. out the door, I will say, this Miami game gives me Penn State game vibes. Only they have a better offense, because when a proud program that can play defense gets you in your home stadium and can muster it one time, ask the Buffalo Bills of 90, whatever year that was, against the Giants, even though that was a Super Bowl game. Ask the New England Patriots against the Giants. Ask Josh Heupel how his team beat Florida State. But if Indiana gets around this next one, Mark and Columba live with it. We're the greatest Big Ten single-season team of all time. Not the Buckeyes.
Lumbo! Let's go! Thank you, brother.
We'll call you next Tuesday and find out.
Good talking to you.
Good luck, Ryan.
You know, he's right about Miami. Here's the thing. You can't have Miami down there big spending like you do, and Florida being the disrepair they're in, and Florida State being the disrepair they're in, and tell me that Miami isn't going to stay where they are for a while. Because the reality is, they're going to stay where they are. Now, is this guy at the helm of the thing going to be able to get them through and get them over? I don't know. He won a hell of a game the other night. His coaching was a little goofy in that game. He called that timeout, which allowed Ole Miss to go down there and score. By the way, guys, that San Francisco game, or Brian, your game yesterday, when Josh Allen needs a half a foot from the 11-yard line and runs it down to the foot of the goal line, and you have all that time left, and you have an opponent over there with no timeouts, and you have 3, why would you score right away to make it a 3-point game? Why would you do that, Brian? Why wouldn't you kneel the ball down? You know this guy can score. At any time he wants to score in short yardage, I would have knelt the ball down. That was some goofy coaching from the Bills. That was some – look, just because this is the way the old school once did it, that was some goofy coaching from the Bills, man. They got away with it.
I was hoping that they would score quickly. I was thinking the best thing for the Jags is if that could just get into the end zone right now.
Right.
And we have at least maybe a minute and a half left. But I knew when the Jags took the lead there, 24 minutes to go, one of two things was going to happen. They were either going to force a turnover, or if not, the Bills were scoring. They were not going to stop Josh Allen on 4 downs. It was not happening. And unfortunately, I was right.
Fleet Pete says, Hoosier Vol. What about Duck Vol? He said, some guy just said, I just puked in my mouth. What an Indiana clown. This guy's getting ripped right now. And by the way, Timothy McGee, who took a smart pill today, he said in 2007, Tony, we went to the SEC championship game with Eric Ainge. A year later, we fired Coach Fulmer with a 750 winning percentage. So he is right about that. However, here we
Tony, our timing's always just a little bit off.
Mm-hmm.
This is the era for Fulmer to be the AD.
No question. No question. He'd have been perfect in this era.
For football.
Do you think he would want an entertainment district?
Zero chance of that, Brian. To the phones we go. By the way, Penn State's talking about building one of those. That's the new thing now. These guys have so much money that they don't know what to do with it all. And my Penn State buddies were like, why? Who's going to go there in Bellefonte, Pennsylvania, in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the winter? What businesses? I mean, have we thought this out? Why not just have like a pop-up city? Just have pop-up buildings for your 7 home games. Pop them up. And leave G10 alone, man. Let's go back to our phones. I take what Indiana's done and take inspiration from it. I'm not jealous of them. I hope they win it all. They show us, they show you, they show me that, you know what? It's out there. Go get it. That's my theme today.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
It's the hottest postgame show on the planet. Garza Law, fifth quarter fan reaction. Fan reaction. As soon as the final gun sounds, we're live.
Score a TD every time with T3 Vodka. T3 is Tennessee's premium vodka, handcrafted with passion, precision, and a whole lot of pride. T3 Vodka is taking the Volunteer State by storm. T3 Vodka, handcrafted in the majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, where quality isn't just a promise, it's a way of life. Filtered 10 times and 80 proof, T3 Vodka delivers a smoothness that's unmatched. This dedication to excellence has already earned T3 Vodka prestigious accolades. T3 is a 5-time gold medal winning vodka and the 2025 SIPS Consumer Choice Award medal winner. Whether you're sipping it neat or on the rocks or mixing up your favorite cocktail, T3 Vodka is your choice for a premium, award-winning experience. Score a T3 TD and ask for T3 Vodka by name at restaurants and wine and liquor stores today. Drink it neat, drink it right, drink T3 Vodka and score a touchdown every time. T3, Tennessee's premium vodka. Distributed by Athens Distributing Company. Please drink responsibly. When it's time for a fresh coat of paint, run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. Interior and exterior, Walker's Painting's been making it beautiful since 1999 across the Knoxville area. New construction, repaints, commercial, residential, free estimates available. And get this, mention you heard Walker's Painting on the Basilio show, 10% off your first job. Let's go! Run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. 865-688-1410. That's 865-688-1410. Walker's Painting, making it beautiful since 1999. Check out the ad at the blog at tclub.team. Walker's Painting.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that? Cool, I'll just order them online. What? Yeah, I'm gonna hop online and I'm gonna get them ordered. Hold up, that's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay? I mean, it seems pretty convenient. Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics. Okay, how do you pronounce it? SM Athletics? They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't you rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Right. It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products. Exactly. So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
When a dangerous, overgrown, or storm-damaged tree is threatening your home, your car, or your family, don't risk it. Call ECR Total Landscapes, your local tree-cutting experts. From precision tree removal and trimming to emergency storm cleanup, ECR Total Landscapes has the equipment and the experience to get the job done safely and efficiently. Call today to set up your free estimate, 865-384-2012, or just go online to ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Basilio here for Budget Transmissions. TGMD, the great Matt Dixon, took his Ford Escape to budget, and like our gold bullet back in the day, it was a total mess. And now, Matt's back in the game. He's got a new transmission, axle, wheel bearing, both radiator hoses, engine mounts, coolant hoses. I mean, his Ford Escape was about to escape to the junkyard, but he didn't begrudge it. He took it to budget, and now he's on his way back to Omaha. Budget Transmissions, over 30 years in business, conveniently located in Bearden. All extended service contracts are honored. A gold certified Repair Pal member. 865-584-4391. 865-584-4391. Budget Transmissions. Don't begrudge it. Take it.
to budget.
Josh Collins at Collins Insurance Agency. At Collins Insurance, we strive to ensure our customers receive better coverage along with bigger savings. Our community is important to us. We want to provide exceptional service to our customers. Anybody can provide great rates, great coverage, but can you also get great service? And hey, don't just take my word for it.
What's up, everybody? Zakai Ziegler here. My family turns to Collins Insurance Agency for the best service, coverage, and price.
So don't just go online and get some random insurance. Experience the Collins Insurance difference.
Like he said, experience the Collins Insurance difference. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. And hey, their Mama's Easy approved. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. Thank you to Josh Collins and ZZ.
One more thing, Tony. Go Vols.
Yee-haw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine, live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today. Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
VIP Play coming soon. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789. Must be 21 plus and located in Tennessee to bet.
Hey there, Basilio crew. Jennifer Morris with Keller Williams Realty. The holiday season is here, and if your plans include unwrapping your new home, then take advantage of less competition and motivated sellers while others are out fighting over parking spots at the mall. Smart buyers are out snagging deals on great homes, and I'm ready to help. Give me a call, 865-694-5904, or reach out at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and as always, go Vols!
It's always magnificent. Mondays on the Basilio Show, presented by our friends at Fleet Tire. I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. And now, back to B.
Fire that thing up, focus that thing, and prepare that thing. We're fired up, folks, and prepared to be with you today. It's hour number 2 on the radio. Yours truly, Tony Basilio, at your service. Pretty pumped to be here. NFL playoffs have delivered. College football playoffs have delivered. I think Brian Hartman's guys yesterday should take a bow. I think my Eagles yesterday should be pretty embarrassed to let a beat-up 49er team with a quarterback that threw a couple of interceptions. When you win the turnover battle like that, you can't win in your building. Because you got wide receivers that just can't catch a ball. A.J. Brown. And then you got Robinson over there from the 49ers who, do you remember him, Bino, when he played at Georgia? Because he ripped us apart yesterday.
Who was this, Tony? I'm sorry.
This Robinson kid yesterday who played at Georgia.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, where did that come from?
And Jennings impacts winnings.
I love Jennings. Love him. You talk about a guy whose worth to any team does not show up on the back of his bubblegum card. That's Juan Jennings. Juan Jennings is amazing. I got people saying that I'm wrong about the kneeling the ball down on the goal line. If I have 3 timeouts and you have none and I can move the ball anytime I want to move it, I'm going to kneel down there and then I'm going to put the ball in the end zone after I extract some more time off that clock. You disagree with that, Bino? People are telling me I'm crazy.
I would have knelt at least once, Tony. I don't know how much more ground I give up other than that, but I would have knelt at least once.
The thing to remember is they needed a touchdown, not a field goal. So if you melted too much time off the clock and had one play and you don't get it, you get stopped. Imagine how much
you have 3 timeouts.
They'd be getting ripped for
but
it.
You have 3 timeouts, Bri. People are telling me that's just dumb. No, it's a new way to look at football. It's what these guys are doing now. People say, well, that's just dumb. Okay, it's just dumb. Just telling you, in that moment, there's a reason why teams don't score. They get on the goal line, and they run clocks out now. Don't want you to get the ball back. It's the same kind of thinking. It's just a little bit reversed. We've always been taught, and if you'll notice what Brian Hartman's Jaguars did, and this will show you that what I'm telling you is right, they let them score. You know why they let them score? Because they weren't going to stop them. People say, well, you could take a false start penalty. Once they put back at the 6-yard line, I give the ball to my quarterback, and he runs the ball into the end zone if it's back at the 6-yard line. What happens if you have 2 false start penalties? I give the ball to my quarterback, and he runs the ball into the end zone. Bino, did it look to you like the Jaguars were stopping that guy in any way, shape, or form yesterday when he needed yards?
No. Well, they certainly weren't going to stop him from in there close, Tony. Now, I wouldn't have gone back to the 10-yard line and tried it.
Well, I'm not saying I would have, but, you know.
It's a good discussion. The thing about Jennings is he's just the anti-diva receiver.
Yep.
He doesn't – he just – however many times you give him the ball, he makes it happen.
Mm-hmm. He had 2 touches yesterday. One of them was like a 40-yard catch. Again. And then you know what else he does? On a couple of Robinson's long plays, he had an incredible – the first time that Cooper DeJean, who's like 24 years old and running around with like 48-year-old Nikki Bella. You go Nikki Bella. The first time Cooper DeJean got lost, first play basically from scrimmage, Jennings threw an incredible block downfield. Incredible. Stuff that doesn't show up on the bubblegum card. And then after the game, he went up there at the press conference and screamed into that microphone and got up and walked out. You know, how funny was that?
Loved it.
I mean,
you swap he and A.J. Brown, and the Eagles are still playing.
Shit, there's no question. But you know, A.J. Brown, I mean, he's going to read a book on the sideline. I like when that head coach went over there because it's been brewing all year. Catch the ball. You talk about a guy
he
that
didn't
had
look
that.
like he was making much of an effort.
You talk about a guy that had
or was that me?
No, you're right. You talk about a guy that had that coming to him. That's that A.J. Brown clown.
And like someone, maybe he was hurt or something, the way he was approaching that.
Let's go back to our
I will say this. The book he was reading last year, if he'd have paid any attention to it, he would have been a different player. Then he apparently didn't pay any attention to it, but he read the right book. That Inner Excellence book is outstanding.
The 49ers, okay, are missing like 7 players now, and I would not count them out in the next round. I would not count a group of guys out that look at each other and play for each other the way those guys play for each other. Let's go back to the phones. 865-200-5402, a show where we keep callers first. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
You're exactly right. If you're Buffalo, you take a knee.
Thank you.
On first down there.
Thank you.
They've got no timeouts left. They've got no timeouts left. You take a knee. You run it down to 20 seconds. You've got 3 plays from inside the 1 yard line to score. They haven't stopped you all game from running that their version of their tush push or whatever. I mean, they were killing you on it. You get 3 shots at it from the 1, and they have no timeout. And here's the thing: if you want to know whether or not you're right or wrong, what did Liam Cohen want them to do?
That's exactly right. Like Brian said, I wanted them to score. Listen, those of you that have taken a side on this on YouTube, you guys are dead wrong, but it's okay because you got to ask yourself, what would your opponent want you to do? That's exactly right. And if you say, hey, we ought to bow up and have a goal line stand, you ain't goal line standing that guy. That guy was like King Kong with the football in his hands yesterday. You ain't goal line. No. Hey, this ain't the 1960s, and you ain't goal line standing him, okay? Get real.
I mean, they let them score. Let them score. It's a no-brainer. Like, Jacksonville just went down the field on your defense and scored the possession before. Like, how many times have you seen these NFL quarterbacks go down with like 30 seconds left and all they needed was a field goal, and you got a field goal kicker that can kick it 67 yards? I mean, yeah,
Yeah, literally. Think about what Lee's saying. For Jacksonville, this guy, that means all you've got to do is get the ball to midfield. That means 2 plays from scrimmage. And the ball's at midfield, basically.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting the ball at the 30, 35 or whatever. I mean, come on. But, I mean, it worked out for him. I mean, I get it. Look, you want to get the lead, like, whatever. I would have taken 1 knee and then given myself 3 chances at it. So
that's right.
But
I take 1 knee, bleed that clock all the way down, take that thing down, and make it really hard on you now to get to midfield. I'm not saying you take 3 knees in a row. I'm saying you take one knee, you bleed the clock all the way down. You trust that nobody's going to jump because this is professional football, and we're in our 18th week here of playing together. Everybody knows their assignment. Don't jump. And I put the ball in Allen's hands, Lee, and guess what? It's in the end zone, and there's about 20 seconds left. That's what you do there.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I would have done. But, I mean, Brian's right. That game flipped in the first half when, after Buffalo fumbled the kickoff and Jacksonville had a chance to go up 14-3. And I guess there was a review on whether or not Lawrence's shin went down, and I guess it did go down early. So that was like a 14-point swing. I mean, that's where the game, I thought, was probably swung pretty big there.
Yeah. On the spot there. Yeah, great game, though. Hey,
sure.
2 great teams,
I don't know
Lee.
if he was down. It looked like there wasn't enough evidence to overturn the ruling of a first down.
I agree with that, Brian. I agree with you.
His knee was enough off the ground where I don't think you can overturn that.
I agree with that, Brian.
I mean, it was kind of parallel to the ground, so I think they just assumed it was down, but I don't think you could tell it was. Like, I don't – that's normally in the history of review, they don't overturn that because it's not totally clear, but they did. So, man, as far as your Eagles, Tone, man, I mean, how are you guys that bad, man, on offense still? It's been like this since week 1. How has this not gotten any better?
Because they have a really, really horrible offensive coordinator that the head coach elevated because he was the next guy up, and he ain't going to be back there next year. But you know that, Lee. The guy is just not up to snuff, and they didn't get a lick better. In fact, they got worse as the year went on. I mean, hell, Lee, we won 2 games this year without getting a first down in the second half and still made the playoffs. That's how bad our division is. Hey, Cowboy fans, how about a little competition? How about keeping us honest in Philadelphia? I'm sorry, Cowboy fans. Y'all are embarrassing. You let a team win the division that twice this year, won games without getting a first down in the second half. It's an embarrassment.
I mean, Brady was just ripping them in the second half. Like, the whole operation, like why it was so dysfunctional. And he's right, man. It was hard to watch, just incredibly hard to watch. Like, they're standing around at the line, running the play clock down every time, like trying to audible into stuff that wasn't going to work. And, like, do you think Jalen Hurts is good? I mean, I know he won a Super Bowl.
Not really.
He's awful, man.
Not really, no. No, I don't think he's good.
Dude, they didn't touch him yesterday. Like, he had no pressure on him all day long. And look at his numbers. For an NFL quarterback to go through a whole game where you don't get touched, and that's the best you can do with those wide receivers. And I know he had a couple of drops, but still.
The ball was coming out for him. The ball was coming out high all day long. Now, look, in NFL football, like you were saying, you should make those catches. But like Brady said, how about putting one ball down in somebody's breadbasket? Just one ball on the money. Just one of those 6. And they're still playing today. One of the 6.
Yeah, man, I mean, they made San Francisco look a whole lot better. That San Francisco team is not good, man. Like, they had no – they were scraping the bottom of the barrel for linebackers, like off the street.
It was unbelievable. Oh, it was a hell of a win. If I'm a 49er fan, that's got to be one of the greatest wins in 49er history yesterday. You were a 7-point dog on the road, and then you lost George Kittle early in the game. And you got some reject from the Kansas City Chiefs who's out there running around making plays. And then they use a gadget play from Juwan Jennings, which is just a beautiful throw. and you overcame a bad day from Brock Purdy. I mean, there's so many reasons why the Eagles should have won that game. That's a disgusting loss for the Eagles. No offense, man.
I would be losing my mind if I was a fan of the
It's
Eagles,
disgusting.
man. Watching that,
we were watching that yesterday going, this cannot happen.
Yeah. I mean, it's one thing if it's against the 1 seed and you're on the road, but man, to that team in your home building, oh my goodness, man. But I'm just going to concede this whole thing to the Bears now. Like, they're going to win the Super Bowl and they're going to win every game on the last play of the game. It's just the way it happens. Like, that team stinks too, but they find a way to, like, I don't even know how they do it, but they do it every single week.
Every week?
That was the 7th game. Yeah, the 7th game they've won when they've trailed at the 2-minute warning. That doesn't even make any sense, man.
I know one thing. I was wrong about that Williams kid, Bino, out of USC. I'll tell you what. My quarterback can paint his nails, paint his toes, and wear some freaking makeup if he plays like that, Bino, in the stretch drive of games. What do you think, Beanstar?
Yeah, I think that discussion should be shelved.
I mean, he could go out there and dress like Dennis Rodman back in the day and be my quarterback.
As a Colt fan, I probably need to sit this quarterback discussion out. But didn't the Eagles have a game where they didn't complete a pass in the second half?
That's what I was talking about. They did it twice, Bino. Twice.
Didn't complete a pass.
Against Buffalo, I think they did it.
They did it against
like
Buffalo.
A 14-3
and they did it
game or something
and
like that.
They did it earlier in the year, and they won twice doing that. And the Cowboys let that team win their division with Jerry Jones spending all that money because he's an embarrassment. That's the truth here.
I mean, for as much crap as I give the NFL, it is a pretty ridiculously good product, man. Like, those games were really
Oh, in the
good.
NFL, in the playoffs, it's insane, yeah. The regular season now, there are so many bad teams in that league that it's borderline unwatchable. But the East Division is just so boring being an Eagle fan. I'm sorry for the rest of the division. Y'all bore me. I mean, Cowboys, can we have some competition, please? New York Giants, can you guys, like, field a team better than a UFL football team? And God knows what they're doing in Washington this past generation. Goodness gracious. Lee, thanks, man.
I mean,
yeah.
All right, see you, boys.
You're good talking to you. Listen, people are, you don't kneel down. You do kneel down there, and you kill the clock because the next play's going in the end zone. And y'all can apologize to me. You kneel down there. Oh, Tony, who else does that? I don't care who does that. This is a new way of playing football that we do now. You kneel down there. Now, would I do that with a college team? No. 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 In college ball, if you're going to let me score there, I'm going to score. If I'm the Vols and I'm down 4 and you're going to let me score, especially the way – I got to watch how I say this. Especially the way we execute. Bino, if somebody's going to let me score and I'm the Vols, I'm scoring. Do you agree with that, Bino?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I'm taking those points.
I'm taking those points like tomorrow with Josh Heupel. Man, I love Josh Heupel, but it's not very clean.
The sooner the better for us, Tony.
Yeah, you get in that end zone as soon as you can. You're going to lay down for me on defense. I'm not going to dive down at the 1-yard line. I'm going to walk into the end zone. Hopefully next year we have enough defense to make it hold up. 865-200-5402. Negative with an interesting comment. He said, nobody ever talked about that meaningless Indiana football program till the end of last year. Bino, does Indiana football strike you as meaningless right now? In terms of discussion point? What is that guy talking about?
Listen. I know it's easy for us, especially to look at them and have some jealousy about you. That's because if they can do it, we should be able to do it.
A guy just had a great point, Bino. If you kneeled down there on that goal line, you'd have like 3rd and goal from like the 19 with last year's team. They would have had like a false start and a hold. Maybe another false start. Maybe they would have gone for the trifecta, as the great Dick Vitale once said. Let's go back to our phones.
Back to Indiana real quick.
Yes.
They could become the first school. They'd be the first school to have, I think, or the last school to finish 16-0 in football, and then the last school that went undefeated in basketball in '76. That's the last school to do it was Indiana. And that's the kind of everything school I want to be.
Wait a second.
I don't know if it's too much to ask.
Teams never finished 16-0. I see what you're saying, because
yeah, and then they'd have a team.
Playoff
they'd
era.
have the last undefeated team in football and the last one that went undefeated in basketball.
Hey, when the Dolphins went undefeated back in the day, guys, were they 17-0?
They were 17-0. The Patriots actually beat that, but they didn't finish the season undefeated.
Who beat them, Brian? You remember who beat the Patriots?
The Giants.
Let's go. Eli Manning's answered prayer. I've often said that if something really, really happens to me, I want to get on Manning's prayer list because I've never seen a guy with more answered prayers in my life.
The Patriots had more games to play in 2007 than the 73 Dolphins did.
David Tyree got that ball caught right in front of his face mask, Bino, and that was the last pass he ever caught in his life.
Wow.
Yes.
Ronnie, in a way, don't we already have that? I mean, it's not undefeated, but those two things are 50 years apart. I was in Morrell Hall at UT when Indiana went undefeated.
How many players from that Indiana team?
I mean, we won a national championship every 50 years in football.
How many, Bino, before we go back to our phones, how many Indiana basketball players from that team can you name, Bino? And then we'll go back to our phones.
Ken Benson.
Who just batted us? Who's bowing over here?
I don't think it's Poley because he's at work.
All right.
I think. That would be my first guess all the time when someone bats at me.
Ken Benson.
That guy. Well,
come on now.
Ask me to remember 50 years ago, the point guard that played for the Celtics.
Hang on. No.
Quinn Buckner.
Quinn Buckner, great player. Isaiah Thomas. Or did he come later?
He's later.
All right. Randy Whitman. He's later.
Maybe.
Benson.
I got Benson and I got Buckner. I don't know any others. I can't come up with any others.
Landon, who's the kid that had the bad car wreck? Landon
Turner.
Landon
He
Turner.
was later, right?
Let's go back.
Was Woodson on that team?
Woodson was on that team. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony, Bino, Brian, it's Taylor. I apologize. Some sheet dressed in red and white grabbed my phone. I just got it back.
Thank you.
May have been Hoosier Vol. I'm not sure. You know, Tony, I despise Volcats. I like Hoosier Vol. He's a great caller, but he's admittedly he's jumping on that bandwagon big time. He's admitted to us, Tony, he's a Tennessee football fan.
Yes, he is, to the core.
An Indiana basketball fan.
To the core. He's a Tennessee football fan and an Indiana basketball fan to his core. Yes, he is.
Not sure what to call that, but I despise Volcats. I like Hoosier Vol. Not that it matters. Tony.
Scott May was on that team, Bino. Scott May was one of them.
Oh, absolutely. I can't believe I forgot Scott May.
Interesting.
Even with my
Taylor,
memory.
they're accusing me over on YouTube of hitting the ball button. Did I hit the ball button, Taylor, yes or no? Or were you doing that?
Tony, there was a red and white sheet that needed to be sheared that grabbed my phone. It was not you hitting the back button or whatever it's called.
See that is? Thank you.
Tony, as you know, that Indiana-Oregon game was at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and I live, unfortunately, still in Hotlanta. I'm trying to make that change, but unfortunately, I am stuck in the burbs of Hotlanta.
Yep.
So, Tony, I went to that game. I tell you what, I despise.
Did you really?
Yeah, Tony, I did. I've got one of my best friends from college flew down, and his daughter goes to Indiana.
Wow, what was the atmosphere like?
Tony, I despise. I'm on record as stating that I cannot stand college football games not played on college campuses, right? And I still think what they should do is continue that seeding, the high seed host until the national championship. But I got to tell you, Tony, I was absolutely blown away, spellbound. When I say that Indiana took over, it was 92% Indiana fans, about 3% Oregon fans, and then the rest, people like me that were neutral but were interested in going to see a great college football team and what I anticipate a great game. It was loud. That pick six, Tony, if Arthur Blank was there, and I'm sure he was in one of those suites, I'm sure he was disgusted with how the environment at Mercedes-Benz could be that loud, that just ear-splitting loud. It was unbelievable. I left thinking these Indiana fans, I mean, they've been hungry for this for 60-plus years, so I get it. They went from worst to first.
Yep.
The stars have aligned, but they are absolutely going to find a way to be loud and proud down in Miami. But would it be Indiana's luck? I don't know when the last time it's happened, but to be playing in Miami against Miami. You just can't make it up. I've heard tickets are $3,000 just to get in.
They are $3,300. And Clarky Baby said that they're going to have 70% to 75% of that stadium down there in Miami's home ballpark. And Taylor, after witnessing that, would you believe that?
Oh, 100%. I've never seen anything like it. And those fans were gracious. They couldn't have been nicer, kinder. The typical Indiana Midwestern stereotype. They were outstanding. I my mouth was open several times. I couldn't believe it. But Tony, we had seats. We're in the first row of that second level. So I say that we had a great view of watching the plays develop. Right, Mendoza may be the most accurate, most intelligent. He's the best college quarterback, Tony, I think literally I have ever seen. You add Signetti to that, and I think this is the year. I don't know if they can replicate it because Mendoza, he is a unicorn, Tony. That kid is so darn special, and I think he won the Heisman. He's still underrated. I forgot, Tony. Add Mark Cuban to that. Mendoza, a generational quarterback, Signetti, and Mark Cuban is a recipe for going from worst to first.
And you know what else? An athletic director that during this guy's run would sit down, as the head coach has said, when he's
every week,
once a
relationship.
Week, sat down with him once a week because he saw it coming. And when everybody else came calling for his coach, who, by the way, if his coach went on the open market, Bino, you think somebody would pay him $30 million a year if he really made himself available with what he's done?
Are you kidding? Are you kidding me?
And he said
he looks like the reincarnation of Saban.
And he didn't talk to anybody. And the reason he didn't talk to anybody is he said this athletic director is the guy that gave me a shot, and he comes once a week, and we sit down and we just talk about life. We talk about everything.
Are you sure it's not a lieutenant? It's not a lieutenant. It's actually the AD of Indiana.
No, it's the AD.
Relationships matter, Tony.
Our guy acts like he's the Queen of England.
Do you think Danny White should get a few emails reminding him of how Indiana retained Signetti and relationships matter? You arrogant. Never mind. I can't stand Danny Dollars, Tony. Anyway, let's move on. Tony, UT has a very high quality of portal transfers. It's nice to see. I know the overall rankings at 17 don't reflect it, but it's not quantity, it's quality. And for the first time, I'm starting to see a little bit of hope that Heupel has learned to leverage the portal. You've got to do it in this day and age. See the remaining teams. See the fact that transfer quarterbacks that are very seasoned are leading their teams to the playoffs. It's just got to happen.
And it doesn't have to be a guy that played at an ultra-high level. It can be a guy like this kid that led Mississippi. It does not have to be a star player. Mendoza was not a star player, but he's a veteran player. That's the
smart
point.
Effect. He got into Yale, Tony.
He's a smart guy.
Remarkable.
That's right.
Tony, moving on, I'll let you go. I know it's the year of the universal caller.
Geophysical year of the caller is what it is, yes.
Tony, yes, sir. We have a Vitello curse. I like to think about it. We went from since Vitello left.
Yes.
We went from an everything school to a mid school. Even Smokey was fired, albeit Smokey was fired 2 seasons too late. He should have been let go 3 years ago. Tony, we've had underwhelming football seasons, underwhelming basketball seasons, and likely a baseball season that's going to be underwhelming as well. Tony, baseball team couldn't even host a a fall inter-squad game, much less an exhibition game. Perfect Game has Tennessee at number 3. D1 is more realistic at 14. We have the Vitello curse, and I'm afraid the Giants are going to win the World Series in 3 years, Tony. G to the B to the O.
Oh, man, don't do that to me. Don't say it's a Vitello curse.
If they do that, you won't have to worry about the Vitello curse being hired in the SEC again at some place like Arkansas. So that would be actually good for us if the Giants and Tony had a lot of success.
Good night. 865-200-5402. Bino, Maury tells me the Indiana team is Scott May Benson, Tom Abernathy. Bino, remember Tom Abernathy?
I had Tom in my mind, but I couldn't get McMillan from Maryland out.
That's right.
And get Abernathy in there.
McMillan, I loved him because he went gray when he was like 24 and played till he was like 70. Scott May Benson, Tom Abernathy, Quinn Buckner, who you mentioned, and Bobby Wilkerson.
Bobby Wilkerson.
And then they had 2 guys off the bench that became head coaches in the sport, Jim Cruz, who was over there at Evansville for a while, and Bob Chief Bender.
Okay.
Bob
so we had
Bender.
Woodson in there and Woods incorrectly.
Yep. Bob Bender, I understand, had Peronis. We'll come back on the other side, 8-6. Never mind. I just been told that Lumbo leads off after this. Are you currently a residential electrician? Would you like more benefits, better pay, more upside? What about a $3,000 signing bonus? Free company-paid health insurance, annual profit share, company vehicle, gas card, much more. Call Advent Electric today. Advent, known for their large commercial jobs around town, and due to high demand, they're adding additional roles for their residential department. Maybe you know a friend, family member that's a residential electrician. Spread the word. Email hr@adventelectric.com. hr@adventelectric.com. 865-588-0631 and ask for the Tony B 3K signing bonus. Advent Electric is hiring. You got to dream about buying some land and building on that land? Well, Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. For hundreds in our area, custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contract. Check out the wonderful work Waterside does. WatersideContractingLLC.com. When it's time for your dreams to come true. Quality without compromising. Waterside Contracting.
College football fans, Chris Fowler here with the play call. This season, go for Dose with ice-cold, refreshing Dos Equis. It's more than a single play. It's a mindset. Think of it as a 2-point conversion for real life. Taking the risk, making the bold move. Whenever we get the chance to go big, we take it. On the field and off, always go for Dose with Dos Equis.
Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis Lager Especial Beer. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Tony Basilio along with the great Mark Griffin. And we're here to talk about our friends at Performance Medicine. And Griff, their slogan, stay educated, stay healthy. That's you.
Wow. I really like to think that, Tony, and I'd like to give Dr. Rogers a lot of credit because I definitely want to stay educated and healthy, and knowing that he's putting the time and effort in to make sure of my care, I want to encourage your listeners to put the time to learn and become educated and get to know Dr. Rogers and see if it can help with your health as well.
And there's a really, really easy way to do that. In fact, they've got their own YouTube channel. You can see Dr. Rogers for himself with his staff staff. It's called The Performance Medicine Show over at the Performance Medicine channel over on YouTube. Also, more information at performancemedicine.net. To our friends in North Knoxville, a brand new location over in Fountain City, now accepting patients. So many ways to reach Dr. Rogers. And like they say, stay educated, stay healthy. Performance Medicine, online performancemedicine.net.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
The season of giving reminds us of what truly matters, community and connection. Hi there, Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. As the year closes, I wanted to take a moment to sincerely thank you, my Basilio family clients. Thank you for trusting me with your most important decisions. Whether it was finding your first home or successfully closing a chapter, your trust means everything. I look forward to new and continued relationships through the new year, and feel free to reach out to me at 865-694-5904 or nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com. And of course, go Vols.
Basilio here with my buddy, Connexial Kristen.
Hey Tony, good to see ya. Connexial builds fleet technology that helps transportation and logistics companies win big. Live GPS, easy ELD and compliance tools, AI dash cameras, and asset tracking, all backed by the #1 U.S. customer support team. Want a better playbook for your operations? Visit Connexial.com/Tony. That's KONEXIAL.com/Tony. Connexial, built for drivers, trusted by fleets, and proud Vol fans.
Tony Basilio here, and I got the great Chad Stockton of FC Alliance 2026. Chad, do you believe we've made it?
Boys and girls teams start off the new year at big national event showcases. We got our younger kids training indoors and doing a lot of things to get better. So we're excited about what the future holds.
Chad, I hear the juice behind you. I hear the kids. Your program reaches throughout East Tennessee. If folks want to get involved, what's the advice?
We're easy to get in touch with. We offer players at all ages, all levels, all experience. We have a program for all of our kids that we have, and we're excited for anyone to join us.
And even some Lady Vols as well. Several college players all over the country, yes?
Absolutely. We had a lot of girls that we were able to watch play in the NCAA tournament. A lot of our former players made big runs through the tournament. We're so excited for them.
Growing the beautiful game. In this, the year of the World Cup in North America, celebrate the beautiful game. Get your child involved. FCAllianceKnox.org. That's FCAllianceKnox.org. And Chad, thank you, man. Keep growing the beautiful game.
Absolutely, Tony, and thank you very much.
Preparing food for a big gathering can really take it out of you. That's why you need to call Calhoun's and check out their selection of party platters. Whether you're hosting a party for the big game, a reunion, or just an everyday gathering, a Calhoun's party platter is next level. Choose from Calhoun's always excellent chicken tenders, fly with Calhoun's wings, or boneless wings with a variety of dipping sauces, award-winning next-level melt-in-your-mouth barbecue ribs, or delicious spinach artichoke dip, or get one of each. Plus, if you're doing burgers or sandwiches, Calhoun's has lots of side dishes like spinach Maria, baked cinnamon apples, Smoky Mountain baked beans, or creamy coleslaw. Available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good. TB back with you. Craziest thing I can't get out of my head before we go back to our phones is that the number 2 power-rated team in the country this year in college football didn't even qualify for the tournament. And the team they took instead has made it hold up. Miami has gone right on and streaked out to playing in the national championship game. That's phenomenal. You got to give them a lot of credit. I get the sense, though, Bino, Notre Dame belong in that playoff, too. Looking back on it now.
Yeah, I think they did as well, Tony. And probably the mistake was not judging them against Miami, but judging them against Alabama. Alabama's the team that didn't belong in there. For some reason, we all just ignored their first game and their last game, but we held Notre Dame's first two against them.
Back to the phones we go, 865-200-5402. I mean, that Notre Dame team with that running game and that pretty good passing game they had, pretty good defense. I mean, that would have been a fun thing to see in the playoff. Let's go back to our phones.
Part of that's on Notre Dame, though, because of their schedule.
Oh, yeah.
Because after the first two, they just didn't play anybody that could beat them. But I agree with you. I think they were better than Alabama.
Yep.
Probably deserved to be in there ahead of Alabama. I'm not sure they wouldn't still be there.
Back to the phones we go. Speaking of Miami, when they get clear of the playoffs, what they're going to do with a quarterback in the portal now that Lane Kiffin has gotten who he's gotten. And Lane Kiffin came in Knoxville and got some damaged goods at quarterback, and he can have them. I'm not saying anything I didn't say on Friday. I did not want Sam Leavitt. I do not want Sam Leavitt. I might eat my words. I'm a takesman. I'm not afraid to have a take. It will not suck. But I didn't want Sam Leavitt. We'll go back to the phones. And we'll get our next call in at 865-200-5402. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, guys, Dave.
Hey, Dave. Good to talk to you on this Monday, my friend.
You can't have dual loyalty, Tony. Florida calls in here and everybody gives him a hard time, but the guy is loyal to one team, regardless of how good they are. He follows one team.
Okay.
And this Hoosier Vol
Ryan. That's right.
They're either wearing orange or they're not. You can't have dual loyalty. It's like I know somebody.
Dave, I've never heard you attack another caller like this. I've never heard you come
personally,
hard.
I think he's a nice guy. And I'm just saying you can't. It's either one or the other. I got a buddy.
Yeah.
That has a Dodgers hat, an Orioles hat, and a Kansas City Royals hat. He's got three teams. I have one baseball team. That's the St. Louis Cardinals. That's it. That's the only professional team I pulled for. I pulled for the St. Louis Cardinal football team.
Oh, I love them. I love this.
Jim Hart.
I love them. I love them.
Jackie Smith.
Mel Gray. I love those guys. Come on now.
Now, when they
Conrad Dobler was so next level, man.
And when that team moved out of St. Louis, they were dead to me.
Damn.
So that's it. Yeah, that was it.
You're a rough
I got
crowd,
another
Dave.
buddy up towards Johnson City. He's a Kentucky basketball fan and a Tennessee football fan. No, it doesn't work that way.
Dave, would you say, and I'm not trying to start anything or put words in your mouth, but would you call Hoosier Vol Ryan a fraud?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Generally,
I don't understand it. I don't know. But I've never lived anywhere but here.
Yep.
So I am what I am. I've never lived off somewhere and come to school here or vice versa. People can do whatever they want to.
No. Dave called in here. No, he was full-throated. Tom Allen's a joke. Indiana football's a joke. Blah, 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 blee, 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 blah, blah, blah. And now all of a sudden, he's waving his banner. He didn't have a banner last year, Dave. Did he have a banner?
The Volcat
he didn't have a banner before the year started last year.
No, before last year, no. And the Volcats are the biggest frauds of them all.
Well, I mean, how do you pull for one team one season that you absolutely hate in another? That's the one I don't understand.
They've got big frauds. You've got big frauds, but we've got the biggest frauds of them all. Little AC/DC adaptation there. But good point, Dave. Here's your Ryan. I mean, no offense. You can't come on here and call him a fraud, though, Dave.
My mom went to the University of Missouri. She had Missouri stuff when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
I could care less about Missouri. My dad got transferred to Knoxville in 1971.
Yep.
when I was 8 years old. And I went to my first Tennessee football game that same year.
Yes.
And that a Tennessee football and basketball fan. I saw Ernie and Bernie play like in 75 in Stokely.
Yes.
I did Tennessee that was my home school. That was, and I went to a Cardinal baseball game in 1969. And my family out there, they're Cardinals. It's in the blood. That's the only team I root for in baseball. And the only college team I support is the University of Tennessee because I fell in love with it when I was a little boy.
It's a great baseball town. This is an incredible fan base. You're very blessed that those are your two fan bases because that Cardinal fan base is so knowledgeable. They love it. They love it like college football. Our fan base loves it like college football. It's so important to our people, which I love. It just charges me up to get up every day and do this and exert all this energy I do and go hard. Go hard, Dave. But Dave, once again, who's your Ryan? What is he? Just one more time.
You can't have dual loyalty, buddy.
So what is he?
You got to pick one or the other.
What is he?
He's fraud.
Thank you, Dave. Bino, do you think that was a sad thing for one caller to call another caller a fraud on here, Bino?
I think it was even sadder that he was led into it by the host and the dean of discord.
All right, one more quick TO, and then we'll get some more calls in. I love each and every one of you, even the fraudulent callers.
College football fans, Chris Fowler here with the play call. This season, go for Dose with ice-cold, refreshing Dos Equis. It's more than a single play. It's a mindset. Think of it as a two-point conversion for real life. Taking the risk, making the bold move. Whenever we get the chance to go big, we take it. On the field and off, always go for Dose with Dos Equis.
Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis Lager Especial Beer. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Chilio here, and my friends at Carnes Motor Company started with a dream over a quarter century ago. I met Rob and Brian back when I still had hair, and they were working at a huge dealership in West Knoxville. But they told me back then they wanted to sell cars on their terms, and I wanted to do radio on my terms. Their terms, just like my terms, are ultimately your terms. In both cases, you're the winner. A Car Guru's National Award winner with a 5-star rating on all sites, just like our Vols. Everything about buying a car from Carnes Motor Company is no hassle. They specialize in high-quality pre-owned vehicles between the $5,000 to $25,000 range. And if you need to sell a car, they'll either buy your car or they'll help you sell it. Carnes Motor Company also has a top-notch service department. Therefore, every vehicle is rigorously inspected and serviced prior to delivery. So you're guaranteed to get a quality pre-owned vehicle every time. If you need a place for service, they've got you covered. Come be a part of the Carnes Motor Company family and tell them you heard about it from B. Online at carnesmotor.com. Oak Ridge Highway, 1 mile past the Carnes light. Carnes Motor Company.
So Josh Carter has an interesting little super chat here, Bino, for $19.99. Dave speaking the truth. You cheer for teams, not players. I'm a diehard Vol fan, but when Peyton played the Titans in the NFL, I cheered hard for the Titans. That's how it is. You can't trust people that cheer for multiple teams. Now, who's your Vol, Ryan? I'll say to you, I trust you. I trust you, who's your Vol. I trust him, don't you?
I trust.
Who's your Vol, Ryan?
I trust who's your Vol, Ryan.
And I don't.
Yes.
And who's your Vol, Ryan? I find this to be jealousy from this fan base. Just like this whole thing of, well, Indiana can't do it again. Who the hell cares? They're doing it once. Why don't we take stock in that and take heart in that? That was my message of love today, Chrissy Hine. I mean, if they can do it, we can do it. Well, they got Mark Cuban's. We got Jimmy Haslam's money. Have you been out to Cherokee Park lately? Or not Cherokee Park. What's it called over there? What's the park called? Lakeshore Park. You been there lately? I mean, stop. Let's go to the phones. 865-200-5402. The playbook with the great William Pattison is on the way next. You will bow thy head when you say that young man's name. Head. Hello and welcome into our next call. You're on the air.
How are my French compatriots doing today?
There he is.
What's up, Debbie Lynn?
Well, guys, I'm in a bit of a crisis mode here. Danny White can say what he wants about what happened during the Jeremy Pruitt era. That's all legal now, what happened. Mm-hmm. And for, Tony, you said now, we're a little behind, but we're catching up.
We are catching up.
I don't agree with that.
No?
No, because the Money Changers Commission, are we going to tell kids? I'm watching us play basketball the other day.
Yes.
And thinking, are we going to have to tell these future, I call them combo recruits. From now on, when I talk about a recruit, I'm talking about portal first, high school second. It's all one thing now. Are we going to tell them the check will be in the mail? That we got to let some guy on a commission from Casper, Wyoming, or the Dakota Territory?
No. What I was talking about, WLN, was not that. I mean, they're still coming with the cash. What they're not doing is they're not getting involved with guys in the portal before the portal opens, basically. That's what they're not doing. They're not.
Okay, so we're ignoring
aggressive.
that commission.
Yeah, for the most part, yes. We're not ignoring it to the way to the tune that Texas Tech is, but everybody, and W. Lynn, stay right there, because I want to remind you, this is the Tony Basilio Show. Check us out at tclub.team. We have a couple thousand words there today. We'll have some stuff on the Hoops team tomorrow, also on Alabama's implosion, which leads us to Kevin Skarbinski will join tomorrow in the first hour. Marky Boy Griffin in hour number 2. We've got to come up with a name for his show as well. We love you. We appreciate you. We thank you. We support you. The Playbook, William Pattison, next.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Back to it we go. So, W. Lynn, I'm not saying they're not spending money. They're certainly spending money. You don't get a player like the kid, the defensive end from Penn State, without it. But the other teams had to jump on you because they walked and talked and wined and dined some guys into the portal, and we are not doing that. And that's what's being told by concerned boosters, multiple that have called over to UT when that slow start happened last week, because quote unquote we're still on quote unquote probation.
Well, I have boosters concerned too that we're waiting, which might take 6 or 9 months for that commission to okay an NIL deal.
Well, that's
the Money Changers Commission.
That whole thing. Here's my thing about the Money Changer Commission. When you've got several thousand athletes that are in the portal, how are they going to be able to look over? Let's say conservatively, 4,000 guys went into the portal. Let's say a quarter of them changed teams. How are you going to look at 1,200 deals teams have and determine whether or not they're paid? And how in Lubbock, Texas, a market size of about, they might have 5,000 people that live in Lubbock, Texas. How are you going to justify paying a quarterback $5 million? That's his market value to Texas Tech Nation. I mean, what are you, freaking kidding me? So the point is,
a softball pitcher, $1 million.
There you go. Act like they're not even there, which is what Texas Tech's doing, W. Lynn.
Well, that's what we need to start doing.
Yep.
Act like they're not even there.
Yes.
Because otherwise, I'm looking at, we're not going to get combo recruits, as I call them, portal or otherwise, if you say, well, we got to get this cleared before we can send you a check.
Yes.
That's bad business for college
they're not,
sport.
They're not doing that. The Vols are letting it rip on that front.
Okay, well that makes me feel a little bit better.
You don't get you don't get that defensive end from Penn State when you're going against LSU and Ohio State. Now Ohio State's been a little hamstrung here. They've reeled their deal in. They're not going to be at the $47 million expenditure they were this past season. They've reeled their deal in here.
Okay.
Which we're going to see. We're going to see teams reel it out, and then we're going to see teams in some years reel it in. Throw the line out, and some years are going to reel it back in. Alabama is hamstrung a little bit here. We're going to have Kevin Skarbinski in here tomorrow. Tennessee's involved with a duo that might just be a package deal from Alabama defensively, and Alabama lost out on 2 key players over the weekend, including Holly Weird, who they had committed from NC State, and Texas went in there and just said, and those Alabama fans are left to go, hey, what about our tradition? I got news for you. These kids say they don't give 2 absolute craps about your tradition.
They don't care anymore.
No, they don't care.
I want to clear a couple of things up about Coach Majors first, and then the Adolph Rupp Bear Bryant
I'm
deal.
glad you. Please do that, because Bino was really clouding the market on Coach Majors. Go ahead.
First of all, on Coach Majors, when I was in a room, what a guy, one of his friends, joked about when he said Legions of the Miserables. He was just talking about the nega fans, the people that are always complaining. He loved all of our fans. He was only talking, and it was only one call-in show then, and you wrote letters to the paper.
Yeah.
He was talking about the people that constantly are negative no matter what.
He
said Legion.
Like a Negative. He would have called him a Legion of the Miserable, right?
Yeah, and not everybody, just somebody like that.
See,
yeah.
Dave is a Legion of the Miserable.
Yeah,
yep.
No doubt about it.
Dave will walk outside today, and he'll look at his wife. They're walking in the park, and he'll say, honey, you know, I just looked on my phone 150 miles away. There's cloud cover. Right, Bino?
Yeah.
He'll get that weather radar out and say, you know, honey, it's nice right now, but...
Or it'll be raining next week.
Yeah, it's going to be supposed to rain on Tuesday, honey. Old
I
Negative.
thought you were going to say, Dave would say, let's get in the car and go there.
Yeah, that's
yes. But I'm gonna call the show, and I'm gonna rip Hoosierval Ryan and call him a fraud. Good gosh, Dave, you clown.
Let me tell you some things about Adolph Rupp and Bear Bryant.
Yep.
If you look at any pictures when they were both there, Adolph Rupp is like in the front, taking up like 80% of the photo, and Bear Bryant, you can see his face over his shoulder, kind of like Forrest Gump in the movie when he was like in the background.
So he couldn't get a
Bear
word
Bryant
in
was
edgewise.
always way behind the Rupper.
Wow. I wonder if you told, Bino, those Kentucky people at the time, I wonder about things like this. If you just said, hey, look, you're getting ready to let a guy go that's getting ready to plant a flag in Alabama and is going to generationally rip this league apart in a generational fashion for the next 25 years. Do you think, Bino, if they had a chance to do that over again, they would have let him go and just identified with basketball? Or would they have let him stay up there? What do you think?
I think they probably would. You're talking about at that time, Tony?
Yes. If they would have had a chance to look out the windshield, would they have still sent him packing so basketball would have been number one?
They'd let him walk.
Isn't that incredible? I think he's right.
Let me tell you something a wise old man told me.
I
God
think
rest
he's right.
his soul.
And I think he's right.
Yeah. A wise man once told me, with the exception of Duke, everybody that claims to be a basketball school wishes they were a football school.
Yeah, but those Kentucky people, man, they're pretty mad about hoops.
I know it, but still, you know.
Yep.
But if they really had their chance, I think everybody, I kind of agreed with him. I looked at Kansas, Syracuse. Well, look at Indiana. They're an example. They're loving being a football school.
Loving every minute of it. W. Lynn, I don't know about Kentucky, though. I think there are. Now, I do appreciate the Kentucky basketball fans. You know why? Or the football fans? Because they for real. You're going to show up on a Saturday night and follow Kentucky football, you got my vote, brah. Because you've been watching some second-rate shit down through the years. And you're just going out there to enjoy the sport. Right, Beanstar? That's the way I've always looked at Kentucky football fans. I have a sense of appreciation for them.
I know it's convenient for them to come here, but they've always brought a lot of people here.
A lot.
Year in, year out, when they couldn't play dead.
And taking the brass kicking. That's exactly right. We've done those shows down there at Calhoun's, Bino, for close to a decade now, and those people bring people. Doesn't matter whether they got 4 wins, 10 wins. Doesn't matter how many wins they have. And some of those women, they got way more chins than. Now, Bino, why you want to drag me into something like that, man?
I'm sorry, Tony. I'm sorry, man.
All right, here's the deal. We're in overtime right now. I got 91 likes. If I don't see 200 likes in 20 minutes, and we've got 314 people watching, which would mean a few of you clowns will reach down there and hit the like button. I know that's physically exerting. I know for some of you, that'll be the most exertion you get, that you get today. How about Negative coming in here and coming off the top rope on Hoosierval Ryan, who's just the sweetest guy in the world? Hoosierval Ryan on the sweetest guy scale is somewhere between Tim Tebow and this Mendoza kid from Indiana. This Mendoza kid from Indiana the other night, he goes, now, let me tell you, my dad was a teammate of Indiana's coach in high school. That's where my dad's from. He said, and it's neat. We're getting ready to go back home. I mean, he's so like he's 12, you know? And then he gets on the field and he rips you apart.
Yeah, the thing about Dave that I've told you from the start.
Yeah.
He and I watch games completely different.
Yeah.
He and I draw things from games because I'm always looking for I'm looking for the one gem in the rubble pile.
Yep.
And he's looking for a mole on Miss Universe.
That's Dave.
We just watch it different. But I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, we're pulling for the same team.
And I get him because I grew up with people like him. And to some extent, with the Philly teams, I am like him. So, Pruitt's Neck Gator said, I love when Tony begs for likes. Hey, Pruitt's Neck Gator, I ain't begging anybody. Because if I don't see 200 likes, when I look down at that thing, my ass is out of here, and so is yours. I ain't begging anybody. You got that all wrong, brah. You got me all wrong, and you got that all wrong. But if we're going to do business out here today, which means if I'm going to stay on here, I ain't staying on for my health. I'll stay on here to grow this format and forum because there's something in it for all of us if that happens. Bino knows me damn. I ain't going to beg anybody for anything. Never have. Bino, have you ever seen me beg anybody for anything?
No, there'll be no begging.
In fact,
you all know me. You all know me. If you
Bino's,
don't want to hit that like button, I'll get out of here quick.
See? And Bino's seen me walk away from customers before. He's seen me in a business sense. We've got up and walked out of places. I had somebody one time trying to make me justify why they should do something with me. I said, look, brother, you got the wrong guy. You're singing out of the wrong songbook. And you will have a good day because I'm out of here. I beg nobody for nothing. And if people can't see the benefits in doing business with me, I just get up and walk out. I own my own thing. I do my own thing. This is our own thing. But you saying I'm going to beg, I ain't begging anybody for nothing. I'm plenty blessed, brah. So here's the deal. If I don't see 200 likes up on that board in 18 minutes, I'm out of here. It's very simple. So let's go back to the phones. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air.
What's up, Tony? It's Zach.
Hey, Zachy, welcome in.
Good Monday to you guys. I hit my like.
There you go.
I did the likes. I always try to do that. I hope it makes I think it helps your show get more reach.
That's what happens. What happens on YouTube is the more likes, the more this thing gets suggested to people that are in the Tennessee space and the algorithm.
Yeah.
And the more people that get exposed to it. There are a lot of people that get exposed to it and are like, whoa, what is this?
Exactly.
And why wouldn't you want to share that with people? It's fun.
I'm lucky that like I've mentioned in the past, that I heard you on terrestrial regular radio back in the late 90s, early aughts. So back in like 2018, I'd been away from, I saw that you were doing a show and it was on, I believe, what was that? Sorry, I don't mean to go off on this, but it was like, there was an app. I think it was like, anyways, it was kind of the precursor to Twitch. And I was thrilled.
About Periscope.
Yes.
Dude,
Periscope,
we used to do tremendously huge numbers on that.
Yes.
On the Periscope. That thing was, we would get like, there'd be some post-game shows where we would do 25,000 people on that crazy thing.
Yeah, and I remember, and I tell all my friends to, check your show out. I'm not trying to get brownie points, but I'm like, you want to listen to some real good.
Yeah.
Some real good. And I hate the word content. I mean,
no,
programming.
I'm not a content person. We're doing what we're doing here, man. I don't even know what it is. But,
it's great.
But NECA Dave came in here and just pile drove a guy and called him a fraud.
Well, I was going to say, NECA Dave he could be mad because of what Sammy tried to do to him the other day when he tried to put him into the wall. So maybe he's taking it out on Hoosierval. But that leads me to my point is I host Atlanta Braves Twitter Spaces during the baseball season, and the Braves have, a lot of SEC fans root for the Braves, but then we have our own college schools that we root for. So I have a thing, if I catch somebody that's got a weird looking fan profile, I have a segment called Explain Your Fandom. Like, why are you rooting for Notre Dame and the Braves, and you say you also like, Georgia? Why do you root for, what's the deal?
Bino, why are you a Yankee fan? Let's get this out on the table right now, Bino. I've always wondered about this because that's
I know why.
That's very front running of Bino.
No, I know why he is.
Tell me why.
Because my dad, who's passed away, he was born in '48. He was a Yankee fan because that was the team that was the team you could see, and everybody was a Mickey Mantle fan. Bino?
That's really, really close, Zach. I did become a baseball fan when there was one game a week on television. The Yankees were who you saw on television before the Braves moved to Atlanta. There were no teams in the Southeast. My brother Freddie was a Yankee fan, and he was a Colt fan, and that's what I became, and that's what I've been my whole life.
Now, I'll just cop, and then I want to do it one basketball. I'll cop to have been. I grew up as a semi-Cowboys fan in the mid '80s. My family was Cowboys fans.
I respect that.
Yeah, we have a Randy White jersey.
Oh, I loved Randy White.
And so I loved the Cowboys when they were winning Super Bowls. But when the Titans came along, I guess you could say I bandwagoned over to the Titans.
Randy White was a good friend of my brother-in-law. Well, he's still alive. But Randy White, he lived right in our area in Pennsylvania in the off season, and he would hang out. And people knew Randy because he was from Maryland. He was right from that part where I grew up in Pennsylvania. That was one bad hombre back in the day, dude. They didn't come any bigger and badder than Randy White.
No, that's kind of like the first my nascent memories of football. Now I became like a Marino guy. But anyways,
those guys. I love those old Cowboy teams when they used to do the flex, and the line would do that thing when they would all get up and do that thing, and that was some great tradition. And then And then old Leather Tuscadero bought the team and fired the head coach and brought in Jimmy Johnson. And from there, it all went down the shitter. No offense.
It's
no offense.
And now I don't care, but I used to be really. But,
they can beat the care out of you. Jerry Jones could beat the care out of you, man. You imagine if Jerry Jones got control of the Vols.
Started with that. Like the loss to Carolina was in the. I think it was NFC.
Hey, Bino, could you imagine if a guy like Jerry Jones got control of the Vols and turned us into a brand? We're just selling products but can't win anything, Bino. You imagine that?
Well, didn't the Haslams do that?
No! These guys can't. The Cowboys can't even compete, Brian. They compete for nothing. Do they compete, Zach? Do they compete, Zach?
No, and they don't even try to hold their great players. No. I think they let so.
Cowboys were awesome back in the day, boy.
Yeah.
Cautionary tale, guys, of not caring who gets the credit.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
How heartened were any of you gentlemen after what happened down in the Swamp Aquatics Center, the Swamp Pool Annex? I'm trying to think of a good name for that. But how heartened were you to see Alabama lose at home to that Texas team that we frog stomped? And can you please tell me, were you heartened or bummed to see Stephen F. Pearl win, which kind of proves the thing about winning on the road. They beat that Arkansas team that we thought was going to trash them. So it makes me feel a little bit better about our road woes.
It's just hard in this league. Yeah, hard to win on the road in this league. Go ahead, Brian.
About two unlikely results. Arkansas getting blown out by Auburn. Winning is one thing, but they got blown out. And then Texas led from start to finish. They couldn't miss. It seemed like in stretches against Alabama.
Hey, hey, Brian, what's your goal this week for the Vols? 2 home games, to Zach's point, against 2 pretty good teams. Is it 2-0 or 1-1? 2-0 or 1-1? Bino, where are you? 2-0 or 1-1?
No, we need to go 2-0, Tony, at home.
Yeah.
How about you, Zach?
I mean, it's got to be 2-0. About 2 weeks ago, I said this team could win every home game and lose every road game, so we have to win our home games. 2-0. But I'll say this: if Vaught comes in, sorry, go ahead.
I don't think this team's as. I'm sorry, Zach. I don't think this team's as good as the last 2 teams we've had for sure. But
easily,
was it last year? Was it last year that Florida beat us by 30 down there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Same spot, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. So
we actually were more competitive this year.
I don't think that buries us that we went down there and had a stinker at Florida.
Top 10 teams could have gone down there and lost by 20 plus.
Yep.
Hey guys, when Bogey Flan plays
if they play like that,
when Bogey Flan plays like that, they're going to beat everybody in front of them. We just happen to be
we
one
opponent,
up,
didn't we?
Oh my God, he is an awful player, but he was lights out Saturday now.
Well, that was the most Tennessee thing ever. Was we were counting on him to. You did a really good job with that nickname with Bogey, but he turned into. He went back to Boogie because he was boogieing on our butts on Saturday. But, yeah, we got to win these 2. I think we can. I just hope Larry Vaught doesn't come in here and jinx it by trashing the Cats. But thank you, gentlemen. I hope you have a nice Monday. We'll talk to you after the game tomorrow night. See you.
We should beat that damn Kentucky team.
Well, Kentucky had a pretty lopsided win of their own over the weekend against Mississippi State. So
that Mississippi State team.
I don't know if it's going to carry over.
That Mississippi State bunch, are they even trying? What are they spending their money on?
Baseball.
And I'll tell you something
Jeff
funny.
Levy.
I'll tell you something funny about the SEC right now. You really want to laugh? Look at some of these women's scores night in and night out. Because this Tennessee Lady Vol team is not great shakes, as we know. They're bludgeoning some of these SEC teams. And the region they are, some of these SEC teams, I don't think are spending $1 on women's basketball. I was telling Bino and Bry off the air, there was a score in South Carolina game in progress the other day, and I don't know what it finished. I'm not even going to look at it, but they were beating somebody like 89-27 in a league game. So what you have is you got like 4 teams, and the Lady Vols are one of them, 4 or 5 that have spent on their rosters. And then, they played Auburn the other day. It was like 14-2, or was it Auburn or Arkansas or somebody they played who had a pretty good record, and they beat the absolute hell out of them because that team hadn't played anybody. They were just feasting on kind of all these. They weren't ranked either, which I thought it was weird that they had that record and weren't ranked. And then when you saw them play, you were like, my gosh.
I'd hate to see the teams they're beating up on.
That's what I'm
saying. They're 14-2. My goodness.
What in the world? But that's what they've done in SEC women's basketball. Some ADs are spending big on it, and some are ignoring it. Literally, like, ignoring it. So throughout the year, you're going to see some lopsided records from the halves, and I would not expect it to be some kind of Jimmy Dykes 14 teams are getting in from the SEC type deal. Our league's pretty good, guys, in basketball. Doesn't have, like, the high-end teams, but...
So Jimmy's got the helicopter going in women's basketball in the SEC, right? Spots on the helicopter.
That's a great line. 865-200. How many could you fit? Maybe 4 on a helicopter?
Yeah, 4.
And then your 2... teams that get in like at-large would fly on the side, like those old like Army helicopters where you pick guys up and fly them. Let's go back to the phones and get our next call in on a day where we've made the cut now. We're well over 200 likes, and now you got me feeling good. So let's go back to the phones. It's like a feel-good day all of a sudden. I'm feeling good on a Monday, and we get our next call in. Hello and welcome. You're on the air.
Tony, Dino, Brian, Matt, how y'all doing?
What do you say, Mark?
Oh.
I mean, yeah, Tony. I mean, if I were doing it, I mean, I'd hire the local high school coach and tell him to do his best. Just don't have any inappropriate relationships with the players.
That's what these teams are doing. They're not even trying.
I guess that, but
yeah.
I got 2 diatribes to go on. You want the Danny White or the Josh Heupel diatribe first?
I like your diatribe, so you just go ahead. We're just going to let you go. I'm going to eat.
Well,
I'm going to eat my lunch.
I'm going to go ahead and preface this by saying that Danny White means nothing to me. He's there to make the finances right.
Hit it.
Like, you all want to get rid of him, go ahead. But this idea that, you know, he's hamstringing things and it all stems back to the fact that everybody's under the impression that he is pricing out the fans. Well, guys, he's got to find $20 million. And that's his job. I'm sorry. It's not fun for anybody, but he's got to find $20 million somewhere to pay these players. They can't just go over there and fire your random staffer in the athletic department that's making $110,000. They don't have enough of those to fire to make that $20 million to pay the players. So, yeah, he's pricing out the fans. But the idea that he doesn't want football to be like, guys, he's got $1 billion entertainment district going down there. He wants football to be good. And there's only 3 ways that Danny White is no longer the AD here. 1, he takes a job somewhere else. 2, there's a major scandal. Or 3, football goes in the complete toilet. And even if it does go in the toilet, he's going to get another hire. So you're going to be stuck with him. Yes, he's an asshole businessman. That's his job. And it all goes back to the fall when the narrative was pushed that because he put baseball fourth behind the Lady Vols, that's why Tony Vitello left. Guess who else did that? LSU, who has a pretty serious baseball program. And it wasn't just because of Kim Mulkey either, because Florida did it, Texas A&M did it, Texas did it. They all did it except for, like, Arkansas. And Arkansas only did that because their football team, they know they're up against it, and to make their people happy, they're going to go all in on baseball and basketball. So you can hate Danny White all you want. He's just doing his job. He's making sure everything's right. Because the dumbest thing I could ever possibly think of right now would be to get popped by the NCAA when there are no rules. That would be pretty damn stupid, wouldn't it? Now, On to Josh Heupel.
Bino, what'd you think of Lumbo's Danny White rant? Beanstar?
Mark, I'll never say I'm in the same camp with Mark. I'm outside at a campfire somewhere where I can see but his Danny White take is mine. I don't care anything about Danny White. I don't care if he leaves tomorrow. I've told you before, I think that job is just one that no one's ever going to be happy with the decisions or whatever they do.
Yep.
Because he's out there getting money from people. That's the last thing you want to give anybody, but that's his job. The job of an athletic director
and Mark,
is to take all the
I'll tell you what I'm going to
– Let me finish.
You're fine.
This ain't a Doug Dickey mom and pop shop anymore, man. This is a $250 million business.
Hey,
he's going to be an asshole.
Hey, Mark. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the tape today. I'm going to send it over to Danny and see if we can start referring to you as Lieutenant Colombo on here.
I'll just say
he's one of Danny's lieutenants now, Bino.
He won't be giving you a ticket to a game for a T-shirt.
You ain't getting a ticket for a game for a T-shirt.
You've
always sided against the common fan on here, Colombo. You've always been a kind of a snooty hoity-toity.
I mean, so on Josh Heupel now, guys, this narrative that he's getting fired, they're going to fire him. Okay, everything y'all bitched about for the last 2 months, let's see. We got to fire the DC. He did that. Need a new strength coach. They did that. Got to hire a big-name DC. They did that. They got to upgrade the defensive personnel in the portal. They did that. So what's the problem here? He's doing everything y'all asked. I didn't like last season either, but, the guy they built the whole program around left in April or March, whenever Nico left. Like, they were kind of up against it. And they went 8-4. Okay. But he's doing everything y'all bitched about. So what's the problem? Explain it to me. We should be rejoicing. We got Chaz freaking Coleman in here. Everybody in the country wanted that guy. He's an elite edge rusher.
I've got no problems with what they've done to this point. Outside of, I would have liked to have seen them identify a lower division quarterback, walk him into the portal, and get him, because that's what.
And they're not done yet. They're not done yet. I would not have paid Sam Levitt $6 million. I'm sorry.
No.
What I'm
saying, Mark, is I would have already had that guy committed because I would have gone to a lower division guy. No, I'm not getting involved with the high budget, high ticket items and quarterback, because what you're doing is you're paying for somebody else's problems. Like this report that's out there, and apparently somebody's said it's Miami that's offered Ty Simpson. What was the figure?
6.5, and we offered 4.
That's ridiculous to offer that guy that kind of money. I mean, that's just like irresponsible. I'm sorry.
I would have taken Ty Simpson here for $4 million. I wouldn't have taken him for a dime over. I wouldn't have taken him for a dime over. But I would have taken him here for $4 million. I would not take Sam Levitt for $5 million. Lane's desperate, and he upped the ante by $1 million. That's why he got him.
Yeah.
We were gonna grab him.
Yeah, he showed up here. He showed up here and did his thing, and people were telling me, like, I had an email from him, that just embarrasses Heupel. No, it doesn't. No, and it has nothing to do with Josh Heupel. The fact that we met him in Knoxville, what Heupel supposed to go out there and shoot the plane out of the air? I mean, he came and got him. He was sitting here waiting on Miami to lose or win their game, and then he was going to get down there and meet with them. And what's his face got desperate because his deal that he did was really embarrassing with that Williams kid last week.
Yeah, really embarrassing.
Really
we beat him on the guy that matters. We beat him on the guy we wanted.
That's right.
Chaz Coleman. That's the guy we wanted.
I'll tell you,
that
Lieutenant
they got
Mark,
him makes this an A-plus portal class, period. You beat Ohio State for him, where he was going since October.
I don't know if it's
and you beat
A-plus.
LSU for him.
I don't know if it's
I can't complain about that.
I don't know if it's an A-plus portal class yet, but we'll see what happens. It's a nice start that they're off to.
I mean, that cat can play.
Very
much. Right? And he's going to be here for 2 years.
Yes.
And he knows the system.
Yes.
Now, they got to teach him how to fit the run better because he wasn't good against it.
That's right.
At Penn State. But
that's right.
That guy can go. And that's what everybody complained about. We don't have any dudes on defense. Now we got dudes. Stop bitching.
We have some dudes. We have some dudes.
Well, better than what we had.
Yes.
There have been serious upgrades on the defensive side of the ball, personnel-wise. Serious upgrades.
Very much so, yes.
I can't stop bitching. That's all I'm saying.
Yep.
And I'm not even a sunshine pumper, man. Like, you know me. I ain't a sunshine pumper, but God bless.
You're having a great call. I'm clipping this. I'm using it for a YouTube short. And I'm also going to see if I can get you deputized. Does he call them deputies? What's he call them, Bri?
Can I get 4 seats?
Lieutenants.
Can I get 4 seats when I come down to a basketball game? Ask Danny if I can get that for that.
Sure. The way Danny's treated a few of my friends, your ass would be in that third level with an oxygen tank. But thank you, Mark. No question, you are now a lieutenant. Do you?
I think they're deputies too. I think both of them. He's got both of them there.
Do you deputize a lieutenant? What do you do with a now? And real Mr. Tubbs says he's a Buckeye Vol now after today's call. By the way, I meant to ask Mark about the leakage. I hope he'll call us back later in the week. There's leakage going on at Ohio State that's really weird. They have players that can play that have jumped into the transfer portal, and they're not spending like they were. They're not pulling people in. Do you think, Bino, my theory that this thing's going to run hot and cold, that sometimes the billionaires are going to get bored and aren't going to let the money go, and then they're going to lose for a while, then they're going to get hot and heavy again, and they're going to go back out fishing? You think that's how this is going to play out?
I just don't see where the money's going to continue to come from, Tony. I don't see how this is maintained. I just don't see it.
Now, Josh Carter, who's a super chatter, so I'll acknowledge him, says that 18th ranked portal class would say you're wrong, Colombo. Josh, I'll say this. The way the On3 people are doing it is kind of, I don't like their methodology. I want to know what you got in the portal. What they do is they account for all the stars that left. By their methodology, Boo Carter is like you've lost a 4 or a 5-star player. I don't know what Boo Carter was, 4 or 5-star player. Boo Carter, him going into that portal, is a 0-star loss if your formula is accurate. I want to say that again. Boo Carter walking off your campus makes your football team better. Now, their formula tells you that you've lost a 4-star or whatever he was, 4-star, 5-star player. Somebody can tell me that follows this. So, I think that is a deceiving metric that they have. Now, I know you got to rank these teams. Everybody wants to win at something and make everybody feel and blah, 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 and this, that, and the other. And one of the people in that kind of knows Boo and just knows the family is texting me going, hey, you've been pretty hard on him on the air. I'm like, no, not really. But a guy that doesn't respect what he didn't respect, we're not going to, sit around and blow on here. I'm telling you, if that was my son, and he was like, Dad, I'm going to leave that team for 3 weeks, but don't put me back on because I'm pretty good. And I'd be like, first of all, that's not a really good idea. And secondly, you're quitting. No, I'm going back. If you're not going to be with your teammates for the summer, you're not serious. It's not a serious thing. So why don't you just go ahead and quit? That's what I'd have said. So I'm not saying anything about him I wouldn't say about my own kid. And if I knew Bino, and Bino was an athlete, and he called me and said, well, Tony, I'm just going to disappear for 3 weeks, but the rest of my team's going to stay there. I can get away with it, Tony, because I'm good enough. And I look at Bino and go, Bino, don't do that. You're quitting. No, I'm not quitting. They're going to take me back. No. You're going to be kind of a loser in my eyes if you do that. Bino, I look at Boo Carter and I say that kid's a loser. Am I wrong? And I don't think it's a subtraction at all that he went into that portal like On3 does. You find that a subtraction, Bino? Of 4 stars?
I find that addition by subtraction.
And then Jordan Ross, he's another one, and this highly rated guy, and this 5-star guy from LSU, this Lance Hurd guy. Hey, listen. That's $1.8 million back in your pocket, brah. For a guy that was getting concaved at the end of the year. So, my deal is on the metric, I think that thing's highly inaccurate. And here's another thing they don't account for. How do you account for what the guy at Ole Miss is doing? How do you account for this wide receiver that nobody would take from down in Nashville who lit it up on Friday night? Lit up Oregon. The white kid. How do you account for him? You mean tell me if he went into the portal, he'd be like a 0-star player? Shit. Shit, as they say in the trade. You got to be kidding me. In other words, I don't know that the transfer portal is quantifiable for you recruitniks out there. Because I don't know if we know until you see these teams hit the field next fall. Some of the Penn State guys are going to fit perfectly. Some won't. Who knows? Some are going to be motivated. Some got paid. Who knows? Some 0-star players that Tennessee got that might be a throw-in at the end of this thing could blossom. I just think it's a deal where we just don't know, Bino. And it's okay with me. I like surprises.
Yeah. Is anybody paying attention to I mean, Indiana's right there in their face. How many 4 or 5-star guys did they get out of that portal?
Amen. They have 7 4-star players on their team, 0 5-star players, and something like, I want to say, 10 to 12 0-star players, they said, is in the run-up to that thing Friday night. That great wide receiver of theirs, Bino, the kid that's been super, super duper productive, came from St. Francis of Pennsylvania Division III school. And then he went to James Madison. He was are you ready? A 0-star player. All the way to 0-star.
They've got a bunch of men out there that who cares what their star was when they were in high school 4 or 5 years ago.
Now, people like a guy like Backdoor Phones says Heupel isn't good enough to coach and win with 3-star and below. You don't know that. But by your metric, what was the kid that we got from Colorado last year? That Colton Hood kid, it's a 3-star player. What are you talking about? I thought he played very well this year. Berkeley TN 4500. This is premium grape cope that I'm serving up right now. No, I'm not coping. I'm not coping at all. You can't quantify the transfer portal. I know the On3 people have a lot of people employed. There's no way to quantify it. That's my belief. So you guys tell me the class is ranked 18th in the country. It's like a lot of NFL drafts. They sit around and quantify the NFL draft. You know what that stuff's worth once training camp starts? Nothing. Bino, how many times do you see people say they had an A-plus draft and 3 of them in a row, and 3 years later they still blow in the NFL?
Yeah.
Happens all the time.
Yep.
Happens all the time.
Tony, these moves, I mean, they have to work.
Yep.
But everything I've seen since the Vandy game shows me that there's a sense of urgency over there that I did not think existed.
Yeah.
And I'm encouraged by that.
I agree with that. Back to the phones we go.
Tony, one more quick thing before we go back to the phone.
Yep.
College football, the way it is. You're talking about Kiffin sneaking in. College football, the way it is. With all their Manhattan Project secrecy and 47 analysts. Why don't we have an anti-aircraft gun over there?
You take the flight tracker, the first school, Bino, that invests in that technology, that'll let me know that this whole thing's come to the next level, right? Because you have a guy you bring from ROTC, and you have him in like a Tennessee uniform, shoulder pads, helmet, the whole thing, and he's sitting there with the flight aware, tracking that plane. And Bino, you don't have to shoot it, knock it out of the air. You just have to send a message that this is our turf, Just
redirect it. Just redirect.
Fire something near it or redirect it. Exactly.
Yeah. 3 warning shots, and then if you continue, that's it.
I mean, if you would have told people back in the day that you'd have had a system where a head coach would come in on a Friday night or a Thursday night, whenever that thing broke, and this idiot's tweeting about it, trying to gin up and gig everybody, because Lane Kiffin literally is bored with himself. And Lane, I like teach you guitar, Lane, or teach you an instrument, or get you a good hobby, man. Berkeley TN, Super Chat. Fans should be pissed over this, but lovable losers. Pissed over what? Having a really good haul on defense. I'm not happy that they didn't talk people into the portal, but Danny's handcuffed them. And the lieutenants are telling people that they're still on probation, so we can't behave like Texas Tech does. Yada, yada, yada. It is what it is. Back to the phones. But let's get our next call in. We've had a day where both Columbus and Negative have had calls where everybody is saluting their calls. Hello and welcome into our next call. You're on the air.
Well, I just be damn. Hell has officially froze over. When you, Tony B,
and you got love
agrees
today.
With anything Mark Colombo has to say.
You got love today. You got love. Negative called in and said people rip Florida, but Florida is who he is. I know who that man cheers for. He called Hoosier Ryan a fraud on here. A fraud.
Tony B.
Yeah.
But you and Mark from Colombo getting along like y'all long-lost lovers has got me over here steamed up. But you... Boy, you are changed like the weather. You know it was 60 to something degrees last week, and now you freezing. Boy, you colder than Alaska, bro. I can't believe you, bro. What has happened since I haven't been called? Hey, listen, I got to know one thing though first. What station are you on, man? All of my millions and millions of listeners, man. When I call this show,
our station's having one issue right now. And it's a minor issue for a radio station, but the transmitter blew out.
105.7, right?
Yeah, the transmitter blew out. Yeah, we'll be back.
Oh, okay.
We're running on
my fans are going crazy.
We're running on super low power. See, it's 2026. There's a thing called a smartphone. There's a little destination called YouTube. You ought to check it out, because if you were watching on YouTube, Florida, you'd see these people in here loving on you, commenting on you. Well, another thing that you would also see, Florida, if you gave this thing a shot on YouTube, it'd probably sharpen your mind. That'd be a lot of good reading for you. Like, I'm going to read some of the comments about you, Florida, right now. Florida, Alan Ward said. Alan, WeShipFloors.com. Alan with 3 exclamation points. In other words, he likes hearing from you. How's that humidity in Florida, brah? Pete VFL says. How's the Sunbelt Billy clone doing? Valdad wants to know. Alan's asking about Megatron. He wants a Megatron update, which is pretty cool. Florida, Catfish Ike says, how'd you like getting that ass whooped down in Florida this past year? Shocking Florida calls after we lose in basketball to them, but you couldn't find him with a search warrant. Jeremy says, Jeremy Sanders after the football loss. Dave 0051 says, hey, back to the phones. that high school class we just signed, the majority of those guys aren't going to contribute this year. So there you go.
Tony B, that was 7 people, but anyway, that's okay. Because my listeners ain't my strong listeners.
I think this would qualify as good. I think this would qualify as good, solid reading for you, though. If you gave YouTube a try, it's really sharp.
So what do I look up on YouTube? The Tony Basilio show.
Sharpen my mind.
What do I look up? The Tony Basilio show on YouTube?
Yeah, Tony Basilio show. Yep, and you'll see me.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, you'll have fun with it.
I got you. Hey, Bino, I ain't gonna forget you, my brother. I still love you, Bino, and that little bitty short guy called Brian. I love y'all, man. Y'all good people.
Brian's not Tony short. B. Brian towers over you. If you saw Brian, trust me.
Hey, man.
I'll tell you what, big boy. I've seen you up close, and I've seen Brian up close, and I wouldn't write that check with my mouth if my body couldn't cash, brah.
Hey, man. Like I said, I'm still here, Tony B. And you know what?
Yeah.
You just got to pay your money to get your transmitter fixed so we can have all these fans so I can bring your ratings up. Because you know what? I have no way to get in touch with you. I have no way to tell my fans what to listen to.
Would you let Lane meet with Megatron one day? Somebody's asking on here.
Listen, no. Hell no, because you know what? That's why I didn't want him in Florida. But you know what? If he left y'all in the middle of the night and then turn around and leave Ole Miss at 6 o'clock in the morning, what the hell you think he would have done to us? That dude ain't nothing about money, bro. That's all that dude is, bro. And he's getting the talent, but guess what? Who else got the talent down there? The guy they just fired. He got all the talent, couldn't win a damn game. Cause you know what? Lane Kiffin gonna see, bro. It's hard to win a national championship. It is hard, and you have to be loyal. These people, these kids with these NIL now, they are not loyal. You need loyalty, man. Loyalty plays a big role in this stuff, man.
That Indiana team, man, they really love each other. You can tell that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And this will be the last year they'll have that too, Bino, because now they're in the middle of the fray. They'll be playing the game, in the portal.
Yeah.
But those kids really play for each other. You can see that. Those guys, man, they got something special brewing there. Who do you like, them or Florida? I mean, Miami or Florida? I'm sorry, Florida. Freudian slip on my part.
Hey, listen, man. I know you're excited about hearing from me, but I like Miami.
I really like
one thing about
you like
I
Miami.
like Miami because Miami defensive line, bro. They get into that quarterback, whoever he is.
Boy,
and I know that little lineman they had, offensive lineman, they gave the MVP to wasn't that? But dude, Miami is fast, bro.
Yep.
And as long as Beck don't screw up and throw 50 interceptions, bro, I'm taking Miami.
Yep.
I'm taking Miami. And as far as Megatron, we're doing 7-on-7, bro. And,
tell me about it.
Like I said, I got him. When I called you a couple of weeks ago, we was talking about do he play defense? He's playing DB now. He's playing DB and receiver. So I'm listening to what you guys say, Tony B.
That's a money
but
position.
He's gonna be ready.
Hey, that DB.
He's gonna be ready.
DBs make more money than wide receivers right now.
Yeah, and I'm gonna send you some video. I'm send it to your phone some videos of the catches he's making at 10 and 11 years old.
I want to see it. I'll put it on the blog. We'll have a little special Megatron section presented by our friends at WeShipFloors.com. You might have an NIL sponsor. Could he put that on his? Is he allowed to put a patch on his uniform?
Yes, he can put anything on his uniform. We got it, bro. We're gonna do everything, bro. I got some guys, and you better watch out for this quarterback. I'm telling you right now. His name is Kendall Allen. Him and Megatron,
Allen, that's a great name.
Love each other.
Kendall Allen is a great name.
Yeah, Megatron goes to Cedar Bluff, and Kendall goes to Emerald, the little private school over there. So watch out for them. Wherever they go, they're gonna go together. And we're gonna bring them up, man, together, bro. So watch out for it, Tony B. But I'm gonna send you some clips on these catches he's making, bro. At 10, 11 years old, he's high pointing the ball. He's doing everything he's supposed to do. And we got a good trainer, man.
Yep.
If you people around here in Knoxville want their kid to be trained, call Penny Smith at Catholic, bro.
Penny Smith.
Penny Smith. His brother Chad just went to Notre Dame. I'm just telling you, bro. And he brought Chaz up from a long way. I'm telling you, if y'all want your kid trained, go to Penny Smith.
I'm going to tell you right now, that your call is the one by which the next couple will be judged, and you're out of here. Bino, I got two things for you. Any word on the rumors? It's Barnes last season. 3 or 4 people have mentioned this, but Lee Stoops talks about it in a super chat. I acknowledge that. Any info on the strength and conditioning coach? On the strength and conditioning front, they're stocking their football team. That's the focus. On Barnes' last season, that would surprise me. That would surprise me if this is Barnes' last season. Bino and Bry, does this look to you like Barnes' last season?
Well, we started hearing stuff like that several years ago, so I don't really put much stock in it.
Yep.
Until it happens.
That's an every year rumor. Bino, what do you think?
They keep firing passes over his head out of bounds. It may be.
Let's go back to our phones. Yeah, and on the strength and conditioning coach, that'll be very interesting. Another super chat, Bino, your thoughts on this? Because they're having an argument here over on the YouTube channel regarding... Well, regarding... No. I like that these guys don't... They pretty much keep it clean with each other. They don't go at each other. They just kind of argue the facts. Josh Carter says, development over recruiting is how you win in today's ball. No more stockpiling 5 stars on your 3 deep. So the teams that's are getting real coaching will be the best teams moving forward. Look, I think the best way to win is a healthy mix of the two. But you got to guess right out of the portal. Like Nick Saban said, and one thing I want to talk to Kevin Skarbinski about, I wonder if Saban saw this coming, that Alabama Bino was not going to have the firepower in NIL to compete, and that's why he got the hell out of there. Because it's one thing to buy brand new cars for everybody and brand new houses for Tua Tagovailoa's family like they did, which is what they did for him. Bring him over from the island or wherever they brought him over from. Wherever they were from. Or find your family a job, like a no-paying, no-show-up job, or find a kid, that kind of thing. It's quite another to pay a quarterback $4 or $5 million. It's got to be giving those Alabama fans whiplash, guys, to see how quickly they're getting blown by here. Because that tradition doesn't matter to these kids, guys. It just doesn't.
I think that Saban saw this moving closer to the pro game, and he had been there and done that and wasn't very dang good at it.
Yep. And this is a pro game without contracts, too. That's the other thing.
Pro game with no boundaries.
Like Fleet Pete said, Jay Wright from Villanova, same thing. Those guys won their championships. Jay Wright, down through the years, the 76ers offered him that job probably 4 or 5 times. He told the guy I know in the Philly media, he said, look, if I wanted to coach professional basketball, I would have done it a long time ago. He said, I have zero interest in coaching professional basketball. Period, end of sentence. So, yeah.
Signetti's proving that Saban's process still wins even in this. And that's basically that you evaluate, you demand accountability, and you're never satisfied. And that's what he's got that Saban had.
Back to the phones.
Would you take Signetti for Colts coach, hypothetically?
Absolutely.
Back to our phone said, my Bama buddy is convinced at the end of this they're going to get Kurt Signetti. Those fans are ridiculous. Yeah, they're very delusional, but it's going to smack them clean in the face. Now, look, out of high school, and you know this if you follow high school recruiting, they've been ripping it up. But then you got these two that are in the portal right now that the Vols are trying to get. And what point is it of bringing those guys on your campus if they're going to walk off? And, hey, man, I like you. You're my guy. You're my boy, you know. We're going to hang out. Hey, let's go together. Let's go together. And that's this Roussel and this Smith guy. Some are saying they're a package deal. I have no idea. But these days, I mean, why wouldn't you take three of your buddies and say, hey, sign all four of us? You'll find a willing suitor somewhere. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air. Try this again. Hey, welcome in. You're on the air. And going in 3, 2, 1. Sold to the man on the left field. Hey, welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony. It's Chris from Birmingham. How you doing?
Hey, Chris. Welcome in, buddy.
Hey, just curious with Sam Levitt going to LSU, how many playoff games has Lane Kiffin coached?
Wow. Isn't that fun, Chris?
Yeah, and another quick thing, I'll let you go.
Yeah.
You know, Juwan Jennings is leading all non-quarterbacks in postseason touchdown passes since the merger. How about that? Go Vols.
Well, that's pretty good. He's done it twice, right? Did it in the Super Bowl, and he did it the other day. Or was that yesterday? And by the way, Chris in Birmingham.
24 hours ago.
Yeah. And by the way, Chris in Birmingham, Juwan Jennings is a hell of a player. When's the last time Brian Vol threw a touchdown pass in the postseason?
It would have to be Peyton Manning, probably.
Or was it Jennings? Didn't Jennings do that in a playoff game?
Well, yeah, we mentioned that, but I thought the time before.
So
Jennings
he did it twice. He did it. The last two were his.
But the last one to do it before him.
I read somewhere that Jennings is the only guy to 165 quarterback rating in playoffs.
Wow.
Perfect 165 quarterback rating, I think.
I'll tell you one
in
thing.
2 playoff games.
I'll tell you one thing, Bino. The thing about trick plays, guys, is not only do they have to be executed perfectly, but you got to run them at the right time. That was an incredibly great call by the 49ers.
Yeah.
And he looks to me like he can still throw the football a little bit, Bino. That was not a bad throw at all.
Oh, it was a perfect throw. Rolling. Movement.
And let me tell you this, buddy of mine was at the game. He said the wind that he threw that thing into, the wind was really, really howling when he let that ball go. I like Juwan Jennings, and I saw my Eagles lose in that game. I saw that coming. Look, you can't have a team that just takes the second half off offensively and think you're going to beat teams that can play. You can beat scrubby teams. You can beat the Redskins. You can beat the Cowboys. You can beat the Giants. But you're not going to beat the teams that can play. Playing like that. Any final thoughts, guys, here on the way out?
Well, Tone, as for the Eagles, you'll get them last year.
Damn.
Well,
fly, Eagles, fly, Tone.
And as for your Jags, Bri, you'll get them never.
I was trying to give you a compliment there,
well,
Tom.
And I'm telling you to go F yourself.
I want you to know I love you both. I hope you have a great week.
See you, Bino. Bino won't be here to protect himself tomorrow when John Adams comes by. The Mark Griffin Hoops segment in our second hour tomorrow. We got so much. This basketball team, my Roan. They just don't do. There's just so many things they don't do. Back to our phone, said, great show, Tony. I'm going to dig into my piggy bank and find some super chats for tomorrow. You guys are brutal You guys are brutal toward me. I mean, brutal. I hope you get through this my self-deprecating, don't take myself seriously sense of humor with a lot of the things I say on here. I hope you understand that I mean, don't get me wrong. In real life, I can be a real prick, but for the most part, I just want to have fun, you know. Cyndi Lauper sung a song about me one time. It was written by Eric Basilio from Your Hooters. Or, by the way, they're not named after the Hooters that you're thinking about. They're named after that thing you put in your mouth and play. Oh, there it goes. That didn't sound right. That thing it's like a little keyboard thing. That thing's called a Hooter, apparently. At least that's what they say. Maybe I've been duped. Wouldn't be the first time, won't be the last. And some say I'm a dope. But I do want to shout out my friends at VIP Play. Shout out VIP Play. Y'all are incredible. Thank you to VIP Play. Tonight, my Flyers have Tampa in the second of 2. Tonight, the Steels are going to get their kingdom torn down. And I will take Houston late of points, and the Steelers are going to get laid out. And I'll take my Flyers on the money line. That's my advice to you. You can go claim your VIP Play welcome bonus right now. First bet, $20. You get $100 in bonus bets instantly. The promo code, and my phrase that pays, is T and Tony. T and Tony. And they're live always with 200-plus leagues. There's footy going on in Europe right now you can bet on. There's the Australian Open in tennis that you can bet on. It's pretty next level. Numerous bet types, props, options. They will take great care of you. Everybody, and I mean everybody, whether you bet $20 or you're betting 20 grand, everybody gets treated like a VIP over at VIP Play. And if you have a gambling problem, 800-889-9789, 21 and over, located in the great state of Tennessee to place a bet. And we appreciate you for being with us on another award-winning edition, another thought-provoking, another action-packed edition here of your Tony Basilio show. We love you. It was great hearing from everybody, including Florida. Mark in the Lumbo thought I was going to fight. Mark in the Lumbo, I ain't going to fight with you, man. Bro, I'm a lover, man, not a fighter. I ain't here to fight with you. And some of your half-cocked points. Some of your off-centered, weirdo, wacko view. No, I'm just kidding. We love you. Thanks. G to the B to the O, take the vote. I'd like to see the Steelers win tonight, personally. But I don't see how a decrepit quarterback with that defense, and give Henry T some credit, I don't see how that old broken down weirdo, I mean, there ain't enough dark rooms in the world for that guy to lay in to get him ready for tonight. I say they get their kingdom torn down there, Lamb Weirdo. But I'll be rooting for the Steels because I've always liked the Steels, going back to the Bradshaw days. And, you know, they were in Pittsburgh and all that good stuff. What the hell am I talking about? I hope Houston roll. Nah, I kind of like the Steelers. If Indiana can do it, here's today's show. Why can't Josh Heupel do it? Why can't the Vols do it? Because the truth is, they can do it. I mean, Indiana's shown me that. If they can do it, anybody can do it. And see, the thing about Alabama right now is that two key Bama players the Vols are involved with now, this Rusal guy, this linebacker, and then James Smith, a defensive lineman. 'Tis the season, man. Those avenues weren't open several years ago. The ability to go and take people off other people's rosters didn't exist several years ago. Well, Indiana will never happen for them again because, they got all these 3-star players and blah, blah. I'm like, okay. If that's the way you want to look at it, the way I look at it is, if they can do it, why not us? I mean, seriously, what other way is there to look at that? What other way would it be to look at that? And imagine, with the way Tennessee's had a nice comeback here, if they would have been on the front foot in the portal, because they weren't. I mean, we talk about it today in the blog. They weren't. But just imagine if they would have been on the front foot. And Thrody wrote about this today because Tennessee's telling people, well, we're still on probation and, we can't do what we got to do and we got to stay within the lines and we're not going to be contacting people early and, and all that stuff. And it kind of hamstrings you a little bit. Hopefully at some point they pull the gloves off and go for it. But here we are with you on a Monday, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Look, you play quarterback for show, but you play defense for dough, and Tennessee's really added to their defense. So I look at what they've done here and this little haul they've gotten from Penn State. First of all, the hire of Jim Knowles' credibility. It's brought credibility to them on defense. It's brought and it's reaped benefits out of the portal. There's no question about that. They've been able to land 4 of their guys out of the portal, all up the middle. And then a great rusher. A great guy who's just got boundless raw ability. But Beanstar the Great, let's talk about our portal haul as Brian Hartman and myself are licking our wounds. Bino, the NFL playoffs, the basketball team, do we need to recast our expectations on these guys? Where do you want to start, Bino?
Let's start in the portal, Tony. And good morning to you and Brian. Just a much brighter outlook than we had when we last spoke. Just a flurry of activity here. The Jim Knowles hire obviously opened that door. And I'm glad to see that the thought that no one would follow him anywhere was bogus.
Yep.
He's had assistant coaches come with him. He's had players come back to him who had other opportunities. So really pleased with the flurry. I know there's more work to do, but needed kicker, got a kicker. Needed a return man, got a return man. Needed defensive players, got defensive players. I got an offensive lineman. So far, there's more work to be done, and but so far I'm really happy with the progress that we've made here recently. So hopefully that continues, and I know that that's just the first part of it. That the evaluation has to be right, and the pieces have to come together, and they have to be successful on the field. But I'm happy with the sense of urgency and the understanding of the needs and the effort to fill them. So. So far, so good in the portal with more work to be done. The basketball team, it's one that's not quite as good defensively as we're accustomed to with Barnes teams. We're still, Ament's still a work in progress. He was the lone bright spot at Florida. More disturbing to me is just their just their lack of care with the basketball. You just can't continue to turn it over time and time and time again when you're somewhat challenged offensively. You just can't give away possessions, and until that gets fixed, the rest of the stuff doesn't matter a whole lot. I think this is a good basketball team, but I don't think at this point, and I'm not sure we're going to see them be as good as the last two Tennessee basketball teams were. This team at this point looks to me more like the Keon Springer teams than the teams that we've seen of late.
And you know what, Bino? That's what they track like. When you look at their assist-to-turnover ratio, and Matt Dixon, we'll have some stuff in the blog tomorrow. He's done some research. It's just kind of crazy, but they're like on a 30-year bender here. We haven't seen a team this deficient in terms of the flurry of turnovers and the goofy things they do. Hard to win road games when you're that loose with the ball, which is something we said Friday, which is why you and I both thought they would lose, and why I think it's going to be a long weekend, long year rather, doing these post-game shows. But hey, we do them because we're dutiful, and we're here for the fans, and we're here together, and we're here for each other. But God, it's hard to watch. Hard to watch.
I think this team will be, as I said Friday, I think they'll be hard to beat at home. I think they'll be really challenged on the road.
Yeah.
They need somehow to win 7 of 9 games at home. No worse than 2 losses at home, because I just think wins are going to be extremely hard to come by on the road for this team.
Yep. But we got a lot to talk about. So we got that. Brian Hartman, welcome in. You and I are going to commiserate today and lick our bumps together. If I were a Jags fan, I'd be a lot more proud of the Jags than I would the Eagles. The Eagles played a team that had a guy holding out, that had 4 key injuries, and then lost George Kittle in the first half to a horrendous. You hate seeing a star player get hurt like that. He's already been beat up all year. But then yesterday he has the Achilles deal, and lo and behold, what do you know? The Eagles can't score in the second half because they haven't been able to all year. Your guys, Bri, had a championship drive from Lawrence, but had a quarterback that's been in a lot of battles. He's got the scars to prove it. And, boy, I'll tell you one thing. Josh Allen was one force to be reckoned with yesterday, Bri.
Are the crisis hotlines open for the Eagles and Jags, Tone?
Not really. Your crisis hotline isn't open. And the Eagles have a good, solid core, and there's nobody in their division. You know why? Because the Cowboys are in the division, and the Giants are in the division, and the Washington, whatever they call themselves, are in the division. So we'll be right back in the playoffs next year. Hate to tell you, to all the haters out there.
Well, I thought the Bills coaching staff confused Trevor Lawrence. And you saw experience. Liam Cohen did an excellent job, 13-4.
Yep.
The future's bright. But the Bills coaching staff, McDermott's been there and done it longer.
Sure.
And Trevor he had one playoff season a couple years ago, but he's still relatively inexperienced in that department. So hopefully he'll get a lot more experienced as we go along. He really could have thrown probably 4 or 5 picks because they got their hands on a lot of his passes. And
no doubt.
And what really I don't like is your defense was good at forcing turnovers all year long. They didn't get one. The special teams got one after you scored to take the lead. You have a chance to go up